3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dive In podcast. You got Max here, and I'm with my co-host Mario.
How's everybody doing today?
And today we have our very first female guest on the show ever. Woo! The very talented Melissa Trusty. Say hi.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me, guys, on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it today.
Perfect. Let's go. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so let's get started. So, school, education. What college did you go to again?
I went to the University of Maryland.
University of Maryland, the Terps.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So even before you moved to DC, you were kind of already...
Yeah, so I've been an athlete my whole entire life. And
what sports?
I've done a lot of different sports, but my main were basketball growing up.
Really?
And I was actually a ballerina for 18 years.
What?
And
let's go.
in middle school, I was trying to get in shape for basketball season, so I needed some sort of sport in the fall. I tried field hockey one year. It wasn't my thing. And so I was like, let me just try to go out for the cross-country team just to try to get in shape for basketball. And I ended up going out for cross-country and ended up finding out that I was really, really good at it. And I went to really small... I went to a really small private school, and there wasn't a girls team, so I was on an all boys team, and I was actually beating all the boys. And so I was like, maybe this is like my hidden talent. So I basically after like around, I think it was like 7th grade, I decided that that's what I want my sport to focus on. So I basically became a long distance runner. Cross country is my sport, and then I got recruited for college. I did a lot of site visits and stuff like that, and got a scholarship to go to University of Maryland to run cross country and track.
So what made you decide to go there? Like what's special about it?
One is at that time I didn't want to run in the heat, so I didn't want to go south. It was all focused around running. I didn't want to run in the heat. And then also my recruiting visit was just amazing because I just going to DC.
It's a beautiful campus.
Beautiful campus. I went to such a small private school growing up. I was a graduating class of 23, and everybody knew everybody. I just wanted 23, and that was all from K through 12, and so.
And it didn't discourage you to go to a school that big. I mean, Maryland's a big.
And I wanted to because I just wanted to get out. I just wanted to be in bigger environment, and also meet different people. Also, just from a running athletic point of view, as I wanted to run for a Division I school, and I also wanted to be with a school that had a good reputation, and I wanted to go something also that was kind of close, but also where the climate was really
what you wanted,
good for running. Yeah, and so I went.
Is Maryland good for running?
The weather was very similar to here.
Yeah,
probably a little bit warmer.
A little bit warmer, yeah.
Right.
And then that year when I was being recruited, they actually just won the national championships for basketball. So we got to see them like Duke as their rival. So we got to go to like a game and see that whole process.
For women's basketball?
For men's basketball.
Oh, Maryland was that good that year?
Maryland actually used to be good.
Dixon fires it up to the top of the Georgia Dome roof, and the kids have done it. Maryland wins their first ever national championship.
They did. They were.
They won the national championship. You're going to date me. But it was 2001. They won the national championship in basketball.
That was a great year for sports.
Dixon was the
Miami.
Dixon was the guy's last name.
NBA Finals, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, so it's just it was that aspect of it, and then I wanted to major in kinesiology, exercise physiology. Okay. So it goes by different names. You can either call it kinesiology, exercise science, but I wanted to be an exercise physiologist because growing up my whole life I've always been into sports, and I was just fascinated by trying to figure out, okay, how can I get a competitive edge, but what are the foods that I can eat to be able to fuel my body? So I've always been on this journey not knowing I would end up where I am now.
Yeah.
And so I went to college a little bit just to figure out, okay, how can I become a better runner, and what are some of the things, like what's actually happening internally in my body to be able to help me perform at a higher level.
So what were those names, the words you said that you were studying?
So my degree was in kinesiology. And I had so it's basically the study of human movement.
Okay, so you weren't thinking about like being a trainer more or less. Well, your path led to where somewhere, obviously.
Yeah. So like back then, what I had two different paths. One, I became fascinated with the heart, so I was actually thinking about even taking the doctor route of being a cardiologist, being like a heart surgeon, which was like really big.
Jeez.
And then I also wanted to, if I wasn't going to be a professional athlete or go to the Olympics, I wanted to work with Olympic athletes, because one of the things
that would be really cool.
is from being a personal trainer, one of the things I noticed is that it's hard to be a personal trainer when you're working with people who aren't committed to it. So you're putting all your time, all your energy, giving them all the tips, and then they don't do anything. Yeah. And it's hard being like an elite athlete and then just like not having somebody on that same wavelength.
Right.
So I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I want to do this at the highest level. So I want to work with like the Olympians who are actually going to take
be serious
everything.
about it. Yeah, they're going to put the effort.
Like people seek you out because they want your help.
Yeah.
And they want to not follow you what you would tell them to do, because they seek you out for that reason. You know?
Exactly. So I got a degree in kinesiology with a concentration in sports nutrition and exercise physiology. So the physiology behind your body of what's actually, like I was saying, what's happening in your body from every different level to help you perform at an optimal level, but also nutritionally, athletes, as you guys know, is you need to eat a certain type of diet to be able to fuel your body properly, and that's just something that knowledge isn't really out there unless you're seeking it. So I really wanted to kind of put all that together and do something with it growing.
Did you retain a lot of that knowledge, like how the body works and
because I've used it my whole entire life. Like literally, it's been like my life mission to find the truth, and like the truth of just like there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of things online. You don't know who to trust. You don't know, like everything conflicts each other.
And at the end of that, it's not static either. Every person's body's different. Yeah, so
everybody's
like, everyone has an opinion, I'm sure, too.
Everybody's doctor's saying something different. It just got very frustrating. And even myself, like I saw myself as like an experiment. So I tried different diets, different ways of eating, different recovery.
How did that turn out for you?
Good and bad at some points. Some points I saw, like actually going through college, that's when I really saw, like when I was in high school, like I did very, very well athletically. Then I went to college and I was basically listening to everything that my coach was saying. I realized that everybody's body's different, especially when it comes to running, because like there's different runners where they can run 100 miles a week, which is like a lot, and they can do very, very well. But there's some distance runners that don't need that much mileage, that actually need more recovery, because there's something called like a lactic threshold, where it's like a certain point that your body gets to where your body
just kind of like shuts down or something like that.
But they can still compete against someone who is running those. We're friends with like track runners, Kazanjians. I don't know if you know them or not. They're twins. They ran track at Pencrest. Like, they're unbelievable athletes, but they run like that mileage. Maybe like under 100, but like 75 at least I know they've done before, which is and you were saying you like to run 15 miles, like
you got that. That's all you. I can't.
That makes me upset.
I knew like off the rip going into track that I was not built to be a long distance runner. I knew that. The 200.
The day you were born, you knew that.
Yeah, I was like,
and everybody's bodies, because you have slow twitch muscles and you have fast twitch muscles, and some people's are just, they have that fat. Like I have fast twitch muscles, but if you go ask me to run, if I run against you and do 100 meters, like you're gonna dust me. But if we go out and run 15 miles, then I'm gonna be the opposite. Because it's just the endurance, the muscle endurance.
I could do a 40. Like I got quick, I got burst, but half a mile, I'm on the ground.
Like I remember I used to see people like after the 400 just stop and they'll just start throwing up, just because like you said, like your body's just couldn't, their body just couldn't handle it. So
wait, did you do track or cross country?
I did track and cross country.
What was your baby?
So my baby was the 5K. Absolute 5K, which is basically 3.1 miles.
So track then was your...
So then track I kind of did, well, because I went to such a small private school, we didn't have track. So actually my senior year, I'm not sure if you remember Mr. Simmons. He used to be the track coach at Pencrest for years and years and years, and he actually passed away my sophomore year of college. And he basically like brought me underneath of his wing. And basically helped introduce me to track, because one, I really needed track to be able to go to college on that as well and show that I like actually ran track,
so you couldn't go with cross country?
I could have gone with cross country, but it helped to actually have that track experience because it makes you more, because basically you're selling, like when you're being recruited by colleges, like, and you have more to offer, you're more valuable to them. True. Yeah. So just having that also in my arsenal, on my resume, my athletic resume,
just makes you stand out a little bit more, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So he kind of brought me underneath his ring, and so I actually ran some Pencrest races, but like not associated with Pencrest.
Unofficial or something like that.
Yeah, and so I did like the 2 mile, the mile, stuff like that. Yeah.
So during the track season, like you peak towards certain periods during the season, right?
Running is all about like peaking and recovery.
So at Maryland, like what were your goals in college? Like did you have goals like your coach planned out for you, that you had planned out, like whether you were going to be like so like a state champion or a national?
So like in track and college is all team. So even though cross country and track is an individual sport, and you're technically you're running against yourself, and your PR is all different stuff.
It's such a confusing sport.
It is confusing.
But it's all mental. It's all against yourself.
It does feel like it's a little bit more individual than a team sport.
It is, but then like it's also such a team sport because you need like the top 7 athletes to be able to make points. Right, so it's all like strategizing and stuff like that.
The best people out there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what a lot of that was, and just us helping to be able to get to the ACC and things like that. And my cross country, my experience actually in college was a little bit different because I went through 3 different coaches, which wasn't the most ideal. It was very, very tough. My last coach ended up being the coach, Andrew Valman, which is actually, he coached the Olympics a couple years ago. So he's actually an Olympian.
How was he as a
great coach, awesome
he's
coach.
Your best coach that you liked a lot.
Because
I assume the first coach probably helped recruit you, so that might have been a tough transition.
Yeah, like the first coach recruited me, and then he left after 2 years, and then I had another coach come in. Also great guy. He left, and then we ended up being so basically like my senior year was kind of just like this coachless situation.
A roller coaster,
but
you've been running so long, so you knew what mileages.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter. I'm gonna just get through it anyway.
Yeah, they give you a workout to go and do it. You know what you got to do.
How was your class? Like your teammates? Like where did you stand? Also,
so I was one of the top runners at the University.
I knew you. I knew you were.
So did you ever think about becoming an Olympian or like? Right?
I did. At that point, but I also knew I really wanted to focus on my career and kind of where I was going with that.
As far as making money or something you were passionate about, or both. Also it could be both. Too.
Yeah, that one is I really saw the idea of helping. Like one thing about me, and like just from my heart, is I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to spread the news. And I also saw like, okay, I have all this information, all this knowledge. Like, I'm using it for me and I'm benefiting myself, but how can I be self-full and just help people?
And you have to do it to yourself so that you know that what you're preaching.
You got to put the oxygen mask on.
You got to actually experience it before you give it back to everybody.
Exactly. So and that's one of the reasons I wanted to work with athletes, and how I kind of got into what I'm doing now, is just trying to be able to be an example, but also show people that there is another way, and the knowledge isn't out there, and you kind of find
it's really not out there.
It's not, and it took me years and years of studying and learning all this different stuff, but I kind of feel like at the place where I'm like, all right, I got it. You know, I can articulate it, and now like, what is the best way that I can do to try to help, like, spread the good word. And just, and it's everybody's at their own stage, and everyone learns at different levels, and so just giving people different pieces.
There's a lot of different paths you could take from that. Like being a personal like nutritionist, or
could you even work for like a sports team, right? Too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Sports teams, or cookbooks, or chefs. There's so many different things.
Stuff that you can do.
So how did you see all that and be like, okay, this is the one that I want to do?
So I didn't know. So when
after college.
So when I graduated college, I was kind of in this stage of my life where I was like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to just go out and be a personal trainer. What I decided is not going the doctor route and going to work for like the professional, going to work for the Olympics. Going to work at the Olympic Training Center. Yeah. But I actually, so I had to move back home for a couple months, and I just like got just like this random 9-to-5 job, and that's when I realized initially this is not for me.
Random.
Like I basically was like a IT recruiter for like a few months. Where basically I was on the phone. I found I had a great talent of being on the phone and making calls and doing sales, and I moved up in the company very, very fast as one of their top salespeople. One of the top recruiters in the company. But I just noticed that I didn't like the whole like 9 to 5 corporate structure.
You didn't feel like you were being fulfilled.
I didn't feel like I was being fulfilled, and they recruited college athletes because you're determined and you're willing to work. You know, like 10, 12. You have that work ethic, and I
broke
understand.
Most likely too.
Yeah.
So they need,
But then I also got exposed to the entrepreneurial world, and I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
I got
that book completely changed my world.
It does,
not being taught in college. Oh, because basically when you're in college and go to school, and it's just the way it's built, is you're taught, you know, to go to school, get really good grades, graduate, go to college, then find a good, safe, secure job where you work 9 to 5 for the next 30, 40 years of your life.
The parent stream.
Yeah. You retire, and then, you know, you go travel the world or whatever when you're like 50, 60 years old.
Have kids and then repeat the process.
Yeah, and you go have the white picket fence in the house. It's actually kind of like what it is.
I do.
But like, and I saw like, you know, job, and a lot of people that was structured like that because a lot of jobs used to give you like a pension. So you would go work for them 30 years. You know, okay, at 30 years you get a pension and you're set for the rest of your life until, you know, you pass away. Yeah. But jobs aren't giving pension anything like that anymore.
I don't like the idea of having to be stuck at a place for, you know, X amount of years for stuff to kick in. Because you're going to want to move around at some point.
Right. You don't want to stay at the same place.
So anyway, so I actually, through that, so I was doing a couple different things. I was actually a head sports performance coach for an organization outside of Philadelphia. We worked with the college athletes and professional athletes where I did a lot of sports performance testing. So we do testing on like their lactic threshold and their Vo2 Max, and these are different just parameters and tests that you do to be able to find out.
What is the lactic threshold? Is that like your where your body can peak and then regress?
So like when, for example, like if you're a runner and like you're like a what am I trying to say?
Sprinter.
You're a sprinter. You have a lactic threshold where basically you're working really, really hard to a point where lactic acid starts to build up in your muscles. That's when you start to break down. And if you can help that process not happen as quickly, you can go harder, stronger, faster, blah, blah, blah. So figuring out a way. So, but everyone's threshold is different.
Right.
So if I know your threshold as an athlete, I can develop your training plan to help make sure. So I can really kind of tailor that to you because yours is different than yours and yours and yours, and it's completely different. So basically, you take a sample of the person's blood.
Really? So this is like really.
It's very scientific. Yeah.
And did you learn this in school?
So I learned it in school. Yeah. And I did like a lot of I did some internships like NIH, with the National Institute of Health, and and then I learned.
And it revolved around kind of stuff along.
That revolved around
these tests that you had to take and whatnot.
Yeah, and then like the Vo2 Max Test, I actually got an experience of that in college because one of my coaches actually helped me because I was trying to be a great athlete. So I got a Vo2 Max Test. We were basically hooked up to a treadmill, and you have this mask on you.
I've seen stuff like that before. Yeah,
and basically they start you out really slow. You're like a walk, and then like it's different intervals where they can make it faster. And basically your goal is to try to go as long and as you can without giving up.
I wish I remember something like that in high school.
And like and it's something. Then at a certain point, then you just like can't go anymore. But the longer you can hold on, the more oxygen that your body's be able to use.
Yeah. Well, I've always been curious. I have so many questions about that machine. Yeah. So like, is it hard to like? Does it restrict your breathing when you have those things, or is it just to monitor your like?
We've attempted to trace the computer message, but it was sent by an asymmetrical security algorithm.
It feels like it's restricting your breathing a little because you're.
It's what it looks like because they're running.
Mask, you know? So it's not natural.
But it's also connected to a bunch of stuff.
But it's connected to the machine, so it feels like the amount of oxygen that your body.
Okay, so it feels like you're running somewhat normally.
Yeah. You just feel like you're running on the treadmill with
that's interesting.
A mask on. Yeah,
so
but
like,
it's a cool experience.
How you breathe play a role into how fast you can go or how long you can run for, right?
In essence, because like when you're getting towards the end of the run, you're gonna be taking a lot shorter breaths because your body, you're just trying to get more oxygen within your body. So obviously the computer is actually measuring that and stuff like that, and that's the whole part of the test.
So
but it's really
you would kind of train these people on like when to kick and when not to kick and things along those lines. Like as far as
the test, you don't coach people on the test. It's just you coach them.
So you're forming a plan for them.
Yeah, so basically after they do all these tests, then we can develop their plan based on their sport, whether they're a football player, a basketball player, they're a runner, they're a swimmer, whatever it is. We can help develop their plan, or we would actually educate the coaches. Okay, this is what their test results came out to be. This is how you need to train them. Versus you can't train, Sally just like Rebecca. Sally's got to have a total different. Like some runners need a day of recovery. Some runners can go 7 days and they're perfectly fine.
The freak freaks.
So like just with sports, it's very scientific. Especially once you start to get more to an elite level, it's every little bit counts.
That sports science, especially now with that, that's cool. Like that, it's becoming very.
Because sports in general is such an emotional. Like an emotional thing. So like people don't like to break it down to science, but if you want to know like how how the body works and how to maximize your performance.
Also too, like having that information and having that knowledge, that gives you an advantage. Because like you said, know everything and how far they can go. And you can build a plan about, okay, this is how we can improve. And
I was just saying about like if you ever have children, like these kids are gonna be, oh my god. I'm gonna be a fan. I'm gonna be a fan from day one.
You're gonna know everything what to do.
You gotta put them, hook them up to a machine on like 3 years old and just build them up.
They're gonna have the genes for sure. Like,
they already have the genes. They have a smart mom. Dude. That's gonna be wild.
No, it's so funny. But like the thing that I look at is like when you're an athlete, your body, just like you said, your body is a machine, and so your body is this precious vessel that's like it's the product, it's the thing that's working for you. So it's like your body's like the Maserati or the Bugatti or whatever fancy car that's out there. It's $1 million car. So if you have $1 million car, you're not just going to put like orange juice in the tank. You're not just going to go put regular gas. You're going to put the premium gas. You're not going to get it from the no-name gas company on the street. You're going to go to like the well-known Exxon or whatever exactly.
Whole Foods.
And you're going to make sure that you're always refueling. You're not going to get it really close to E. You're going to also make sure you're getting the oil change and the maintenance. You're going to make sure it's in tip-top shape because you spent all this money on it, and it's this body that you're living in your whole entire life. So you just got to keep feeding it with the right types of stuff.
That sounds like kind of looking at it per person though. Like if you were to like have all this data and information, like it would be like a dictionary, wouldn't it be? Like
a whole book.
Each part of the body would involve so much it's so growth much and drop. And
have you thought about writing a book?
I actually have. A lot of people have actually asked me to. It's just there's a lot of books I could write, and there's also one book that I could write, and kind of knowing like what angle I want to take and stuff like that. And also like I have my whole life story, and just kind of like I don't really know what I want the book to be about. I guess that's my answer.
All right, let me know. I'll be the first copy. Get my own.
All right, got it.
Podcast would be a good idea for you as well, or like a combination of like kind of what we're doing with like YouTube videos. You could like not only just teach people what they want to be, like what they want to learn about, what they need to know to maximize their performance and whatnot. Because a big problem is people don't know what they need to know or what they want to learn. I mean, me personally, I don't know anything.
I would say too. I mean, you could just build a lifestyle around it too. Just kind of have like a little video, a couple seconds, a minute or two, just showing everybody like, all right, I'm gonna make this morning.
But that's what I was saying. You could also cook cook on it and teach them how to make these recipes as well. The whole thing was.
There's so many different things you can do.
But you're doing. It seems like you're doing so much right now. Like,
I'm doing a bunch of different stuff and just trying to figure out like where my stride is and stuff like that, and also just there's a lot of different ways to reach people.
Are you mainly focusing right now on the sports, I guess the vegan?
Let's get back to that. So you did the stupid 9 to 5, then you did this training.
So I did the training, and then
what comes next for you?
And then I actually had a stint in actually really randomly financial education.
Like a financial advisor?
I was a financial advisor for a stint, and again too, what happened in my life is so I was the whole aspect with that, and then I got in this whole entrepreneurial scene. I realized we're not taught financial education, and I had a good friend of mine that actually was part of this company, and was talking about, just being entrepreneurial, working for yourself. You have a really good drive. Why don't you just try this out? Because like when I was a personal trainer, a lot of the work was like in the evenings and I didn't have like structured hours, so I still have time for other things. And I'm always into learning, especially stuff that I don't know. And so I got into financial education, where I was basically doing personal finance and teaching people about insurance and saving. I just learned all this stuff about just stuff like we're just not
never
taught
about.
Of like saving, and like there's something
like everyday expenses that we should be paying attention attention
and
to
like
them.
debt and buying a home, just all this stuff to live a life. So I was like, okay, this is going to be benefit for me personally because like as I'm, young and trying to figure out my life, like if I know personal finance, it'll help me move on.
I wonder if Ethan got any of this mindset from you.
Like, I don't know.
Whole family has that mindset.
Well, you Trustees are unbelievably.
It's crazy.
You guys are raised, you're all athletic, like so.
I love that ambition. Like you guys are all ambitious. Like that's so cool. I'm like, I would love to be around that 24/7. Like, we would be able to rule the world. At the end of the day, that's.
And I think
must be genetics. I don't know.
But no, like I was saying, I just think a lot of it has to do with sports because one thing that my parents always tried to do is, as soon as we were able to do sports, they gave us the opportunity to pick whatever sports we want to do. One is just my parents just saw all the life skills that you can get out of it. Just besides just playing the sports, they wanted to help us make us well-rounded, but just there was just so much discipline that you can get from it.
Yeah.
And so I think communication skills and teamwork, leadership, the drive of just being able to be committed to something and not quit.
Yeah, being hungry and that transitions to later in life.
Yeah, and when you're so young, you're very malleable, and that's where you learn a lot of your like how you are as you're growing up. So I think that had a lot to do with it, and just we learned those skills at such a young age that we just have taken them into our adulthoods and adult lives in different ways.
It's strange though that you transitioned into a runner from like basketball.
Yeah.
Field hockey wasn't just the stick. You couldn't get a handle. That's a dinky sport. Honestly.
I couldn't get into it. Yeah. And like basketball was my dream, and I was like, I want to do basketball in college.
You're pretty tall as well, so like you have the size for it.
What position did you play?
I was forward, and I was a center until we had a girl in a school that actually was taller than me, so she took it over. But forward, I love it. I loved it. I was one of the shooters. But I just fell in love with running. I think part of it too is I could actually control the outcome because it was an individual sport versus
that's a beautiful thing as well.
Everything else. So I know at the end of the day, it was up to me. So whether I stunk at it or I was good at it or whatever the result came out of it was all just my drive.
It was on you, yeah.
Yeah, and it develops a different mindset towards things. Yeah, and I just fell in love with it. It was great.
So cool.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So anyway, I did personal finance for a little bit, and I did that, and that also gave me an opportunity to go back and coach. I coached a high school cross country, basically totally transformed a high school. I had like 60 kids underneath my wing.
In Maryland?
In Maryland, yeah. I had the boys team and the girls team, and I basically had them for a year to totally transition their program, and I actually helped the girls team win their first division championship.
No shit.
It was like a really big thing for me.
So you're pretty well versed in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, I part of me, I feel like I'm like what they say is like a Renaissance woman, where I have a lot of talents and a lot of skills in a different way, where I don't just have like the one track career like most people. But before I saw that as like I don't have T-shirt. I
actually learned that in school, so I was like, throw it out there.
Because before like I saw it as like a negative thing as I'm out in this world. I don't have this, like, people are like, oh, I've been in XYZ for the past 15 years. I'm like, I've been in I've been on everything. And it's just the alphabet. But like, I've seen the beauty and the strength of them, because like when a lot of different opportunities are presented to me, I'm able to take them and succeed at them, because I just take different pieces from all the different things I've done and have been able to excel in the different things that I'm doing. So,
but you being able to understand that about yourself, like your foundation was there, so it's almost like anything you really put your foot into, you're gonna do good things in, which is a very good thing to have.
Yeah. It takes a while to kind of get to that self-realization, though.
Yeah, I'm working my way there now. I'm not, but I see it in you. Like I hear it in you, and that's.
I mean, how long
I'm jealous,
did it take for you to realize that? Like,
I'd even probably say within the past couple years.
Really?
Like, honestly, because as I was going through, like, I was still trying to figure out, okay, like, what is my calling? What am I trying to do? I have, the sports athletic background. I got into randomly finance somehow. Yeah. But, like, that's the finance part was it really taught me the whole entrepreneurial aspect of it, and brought me this whole different world of just, like, the Rich Dad Poor Dad and the Napoleon Hills and the Tim Ferrisses of the world and all these different other people that are just going after what they're doing. So it has totally changed my mindset to just be able to look at things differently, and also finding something that's like my passion, where work doesn't feel like work, where I'm willing to do whatever it does. And I feel like I'm there now, where I'm just like, I love doing what I do, and it doesn't seem it's work, but it doesn't seem like work to me.
It's like breathing fresh air after you read. Once you dive into the entrepreneurial like mindset, and it's kind of like you lay out like a plan on how like some athlete could be way better than they are. Like these entrepreneurs kind of lay out like their testimony, so that you can see that like truly anything you want to be, anything you want to do is possible. And once you like understand that, then it's like, oh my god, like your life's not the same.
I figured it out, right? Okay, I know how this game works.
Exactly. And it's all just like feeding your mind and educating yourself. Like we were talking about, this stuff is just not out there. You're not taught this stuff in school. School is not designed to teach you how to be an entrepreneur. It's teaching you how to be an employee.
9-to-5er,
and so you have to go out and learn this knowledge. It's all about like feeding your mind, giving it positivity, and just
discipline on top of that, because that's where I struggle. Because instead of watching TV or Netflix or Hulu, I got all these beautiful, amazing books right here, and I barely can read it.
But I think like, and going back to the finance week, that's the one thing that taught me is, okay, like no one's giving me a salary. Everything I do is based on what I do.
Your performance.
So I have to be working. I have to be making phone calls. I have to be out networking. I have to be out making, sales calls, everything. Because that's how you're making.
But it's exciting though. Like it really is exciting, because it's like you're building this thing, not somebody else.
It is.
Ethan reiterates this too, like because he works all the time around the clock. So like you end the day feeling every day feeling good about yourself, because you're not slugging around being lazy. You know what you have to do, and you get it done.
And that feeling like when you actually help somebody, it's like, wow, I actually helped somebody. That's
and like
cool.
changing somebody's life in some way, it's so meaningful. So it's like you work really hard for 10 years so you can enjoy the next 30, 40, 50 years of your life. Versus working day in and day out for something that you hate. Just to get a paycheck, when it's just like there's so much more to life, and stuff like that. And so just
you get one of them too, like
and you get one of them. We have one chance, and
so you might as well go for it. Do what you want to do.
And like
some people are like, and I don't think anyone in this room are one of them, but some people are completely satisfied with.
And it's perfectly fine. Like
goes back to knowing who you are.
And some people just are not cut out to be entrepreneurs. Not good. It's not bad. And some people,
it's hard. It really is hard.
It's not for everybody. It sounds great. It's so easy to say, but once you're in it,
and it is a dream, but like it's not fun.
But once you're in it, it's not glamorous the way it looks like. It's a lot of grinding, a lot of grit.
Late nights.
A lot of
calling you late at night, like, hey, I need help with X, Y, and Z.
All of that, And some people thrive in that environment, but also you're saying some people they need the 9-to-5. They need to know, okay, not at 5:00 I'm done. I get to go home, whatever I want to do.
They need like structure in their life versus making it themselves. I respect that, and obviously we need so many people like that. But on one of the early episodes we talked about like just passions and how like people are just say they're passionate about like different things, but like in the end, like whatever you are passionate about, it's not going to be something that it's not going to be you laying on a beach,
No,
it's going to be something that's challenging and difficult, and other people are going to try to like tear you down. Not everyone, because you'll find other people with the same passion and same interest, and you guys can help each other grow, not tear each other down. But like your friends won't understand like the grind and what you're working on and stuff, like, and family and stuff. So it's and I just always like you're totally right. Like your friends will change, and you want to be around people that are like-minded, that are bringing you up and not trying to pull you down.
Order at where you want to be.
And so some people aren't going to understand you, and that's okay. It's not your goal to help them make them understand you, and if they will, if they can, they can. If they don't, they don't. But like you go after what you want to go after, and go after your dreams. At the end of the day, it's your life,
and it's you at the end of the day.
The only person you answer to yourself at the end of the day is yourself.
It's another thing I struggle with in this stage in my life.
I mean, it's so hard because you look at like Instagram, you see on Instagram all these different influencers, different like famous celebrities, all these different people, and they have that lifestyle that you're trying to get to, and it kind of brings you down because you see that they have the skills that you already have, and they're so good at what you're doing, and then you kind of compare it to what you're doing, and you're just kind of like, dang, like I suck, you know, like it kind of just it brings you down.
You gotta know so much of that is fake. Then you're new to Instagram, like you get addicted to it. Be careful.
And Instagram is the beautified life. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Two is they started at one point where you are, you know, same thing, same dream when they were to get there, you know, you know, putting in the work behind it and stuff like that. And you said something else, but I will come to my mind.
But this is really fun. So like what you said, like about enjoying what you do instead of just trying to find joy in what you're doing, because it's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. But I mean, I'm having a good time now, and with every guest, you have like this good feeling at the end, because like they're happy, we're happy, because in what other situations will me and Mario be sitting down and talking to you, like in the real world, you know? Like not that like we want to. I know. It just wouldn't happen naturally.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would have probably met at some point, because you know you're with the Black Girl Ventures. Yeah, and I saw like the story, and I was like, yo, like okay, because like I told you, like this lady that I'm working with, she just went to their event too, and she's a part of it too, and I was like, all right, awesome, like I didn't know you were a part of that. So seeing that was like cool, like
no, definitely.
Are you involved in a lot of things like that? Or?
Yeah, so one of the things I do is I do obviously a lot of the networking, because you got to be able to connect with people and just be able to help bring each other up. This guy knows all about it.
He's at networking events like 5 times.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. One, just like you learn your social, you learn better social skills. One, you learn like your elevator pitches. Everyone asks you, what do you do? And you have this long 10-minute conversation. Like you need to be able to like do it in an elevator. Yeah, do it really, really quick. And then also like you don't know what opportunities or who you're going to meet and what doors can be open. Like your life could change in a second. But also you can help change somebody else's life in a second. So you never know what's going to come. And with Black Girl Ventures, just the opportunity to be able to see, like, you know, just being able to see the opportunity of really trying to give women of color a voice and give them a platform to be able to succeed, because African American women are actually the least funded from venture capitalists in the whole country,
the world,
which is probably the world. But on statistics, they actually outperform men, and they actually succeed a lot better at what they're doing. So it's just
has there been like a change in that at all? Like has there been a little spike in venture capitalists? Or not as much?
Not as much. I think
the time moves so slow. Like I wouldn't know if I would recognize the progress if I had the charts or whatever. But
I think right now it's starting to get more like the conversation is starting to happen, which is good. Because before the conversation wasn't there. It's a start, and a lot more entities, especially African American owned entities and African Americans that are more wealthy are starting these like venture capitalist funds to specifically help people of color and women of color, like Black Girl Ventures.
Empower them
because like when you're starting a business, you don't know how to find funding. There's the whole thing of like a family and friends seed realm. You have to, like, especially like in the food industry, you have to be able to raise between $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 to be able to figure out how to be able to get the manufacturing, the co-packers, any, like if you want to basically build a product and have it in Whole Foods, there was like a whole there's a lot. And if you don't have the connections, you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do. And like when you're trying to raise money, like you usually have to go to your friends and family and raise like $10,000 from Uncle Bob and $20,000 from Aunt Sally. And like, you know, in most families, like if you go to Uncle Bob, you might get 10 cents. You know? And so not everybody has
plus
that.
It's awkward.
So not everybody has that luxury. So being able to have a support structure, like for example, Black Girl Ventures has like these pitch slams where, you know, you go and pitch your company and your concept, and you can raise money from that, and you also get exposure and other people see what you're doing.
I can only imagine the support is unreal. Everyone there wants to see each other. You know,
now too. There's a lot more like venture capital firms that are being grown. Like I don't know if you heard of Backstage Capital. That's another one too.
Exactly.
They recently just opened up an office in Philly too. So
I heard that. There's a lot popping up.
Right, that's good. That's good.
It's good. And it's a lot of them are started by just people that comes from like rags to riches and have literally grassroots, just trying to hustle and figure it out on their own, and then now they're giving back and they have the connections. So it's
super
great.
Interesting. That's the way like that we're gearing towards, where like we're creating just big spaces for people to all work together. There's no way it was like that like 40, 50 years ago.
Right, even sooner, maybe like 10 years ago. Right?
It's
amazing.
I like that, you just as you lift people up, you help lift yourself up. You know, and it's just
and with
a different
like
mindset
technology and the internet and everything, like entrepreneurship has really taken a spike. I'm curious to where we'll be in another 10 years or so.
Oh, I know. It's going to be awesome wherever that is.
Don't really want to imagine like the technology and stuff like that.
Oh, I know. Like iPhones are going to be like, what? You had an iPhone?
Holograms? That's going to be holograms.
I know. You just have like some chip in your hand or something.
Everything's going to be the exact same.
Yeah.
Except we're going to be on Mars. That's the only thing.
That too.
That would be something.
Yeah.
But,
so, I mean, I'm just about to just transition to something completely different. Like, what are your hobbies? Like, what do you like to do outside of, the sports and the finance and all that type of stuff?
See, the funny thing is I am doing my hobby. So, like, I love being in the kitchen. I love making food. It's just...
Did you always have that as a...
I gained it when I went to college, when I left my parents' house and I could actually control what I was eating. And I moved off campus into my own apartment where I basically had to fend for myself. And that's
was that a struggle for you?
It was a struggle. Well, it's more struggle to live on campus because I'm very anal about what I ate, just for the whole athletic reason.
So bad.
And campus food is horrible.
So bad.
You don't know where that shit's coming from either.
So I love the idea of being able to make my own food, but I didn't know how to cook. So I basically had to teach myself how to cook.
So you developed that skill like pretty late on, and
definitely late on.
Like YouTube videos, like recipes and stuff like that.
Back then, I'm dating myself too. Like YouTube really wasn't a thing. Like social media really wasn't like Facebook was just starting. So like it was literally just like cookbooks and like learning from other people and just like figuring out like what in the world is parsley, what in the world is cilantro, like just stuff that like
mangosteens.
Like I have no idea. Like I was so used to just like eating like everyone eats, like out of a box and processed food and not knowing. So I just started learning that. So anyway, I love being in the kitchen. I'm just making food and experimenting. I love grocery. I have the weird hobbies. I love grocery stores. Like don't take me to the mall. Like take me to the grocery store and like leave me for 2 hours.
So if we ever can't find you,
we know you're right.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
I hate going to the grocery store. I mean, I wouldn't say I hate it, but
he'll drive you, but he'll say no.
But like, literally, but like for me, it's like, but it's also like the Whole Foods, like around here in Philadelphia. There's like My Organic Market, which is like Mom's, which is one's in Philadelphia. Like one are more Trader Joe's. I love seeing what new products are out, what people are innovating, creating.
Yeah. So what are mangosteens?
Yeah.
Are they just a variation?
So they're a tropical fruit from Asia.
A variation
I was like, what is that?
A variation of a mango, right? Or is it not that simple?
No, they're not a mango.
They look like mangoes, but they look deformed.
They have like similar
like a whole bunch of
pods, kind of like the lychee. Not like they're not a lychee, but like the center kind of has like, it's really hard to explain. You have to try one sometime.
You didn't bring one with you? Damn it.
I know. I thought about bringing something tonight, but I had no time.
So you're a tropical fruit fanatic.
So now, like,
we know that.
Once I got into this, like where I eat now, like my whole world opened up with tropical fruits. I love tropical fruit. I love sampling different stuff.
Do we have a top 3?
Yeah, lychee.
Is it really up there? I feel like they're the king. Lychee is king.
Lychee is my top. Lychee is basically a tropical fruit from Southeast Asia. Asia. It looks like that in the picture. But it's so good. You like bite off, like you take the skin off, and it has a little seed on it, so you don't eat the seed. But it's just like this burst of like juicy, sweet flavor in your mouth, and they're so addicting, but in a good way. They're really refreshing. But if you get them here, you have to get them at like the Asian fruit market, which I'll always have them in the summer times. It's usually when they're in season here.
Right.
So I love lychee, especially like after I like work out. I just love them. Jackfruit. Are you familiar with jackfruit? It's starting to become popular now.
I was just about to ask you about jackfruit because I've been to India and I actually tried jackfruit when I was there. I mean,
how'd you like it?
What's this guy look like?
It's alright.
It's huge. There literally can be like 100 pounds.
The name's jackfruit.
Jackfruit.
I've heard it before. I thought it was like a brand.
And you can get it unripe, which right now like unripe jackfruit, you can saute it and make it and be like a pulled pork consistency.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's actually really good. It sounds,
it looks like what is that, like zucchini or something like that?
I don't know, man. It's an interesting taste.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. Like,
oh my god,
it has like kind of like a bubble gum reminiscent taste to it.
Really?
It's really sweet. It's really good.
I didn't know what to think of it. I was
I brought it home to my family.
They're
like,
massive.
what in this big thing? And now like
they're the size of watermelon.
I get it. So the Asian fruit market is where I get all of my fruit. So I get it from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is that, by the way?
They have some. Well, in Philadelphia, they have some off of Washington Avenue. In Philadelphia, it's kind of right down by South Philly.
And is it kind of just like luck of the draw on what they're going to have that day, or do they always have this type of stuff?
Have them, but usually you can't get the whole thing because no one wants to buy 100-pound jackfruit unless you're a weird person like me. And have a
There's not a line out. There's not a line looking for jackfruit.
No, like usually they're like cut, and you like can buy like a pound of it for like $5-7.
Yeah.
But in Maryland, in Maryland they have some Asian markets there, and you can get them there as well, and they're like, that's my favorite place to get them because you.
Right. So what's your third?
My third is a fruit that no one likes. I'm gonna find a fan. Maybe one of you guys will like it, but it's called durian. It's my absolute favorite.
No,
you know what?
You do not want to eat that.
No, you do want to eat it.
I've heard of those before.
I was watching Gary Vee. I was watching this Gary Vee video, and he's with some random guy.
Yeah.
And this guy had him try it. And they were saying, like, it was the smelliest fruit in the world. Like, it smells so bad.
They look like pine cones.
It smells so bad.
It smells horrendous. And that's why people don't like it. It literally smells like...
so bad, yo.
It smells like gas, with the worst type of gas ever. And in countries, it's actually abandoned and illegal to have them, like, in the metro and have them, like, out where other people can smell it. Oh, my God. Look at like, even when it's in the refrigerator...
Public, you're not allowed to have it.
Yeah, it'll make your whole refrigerator smell. But it's so delicious.
Get to the benefits of this.
What's it taste like?
It doesn't taste
creamy,
like
it has this creamy custardy type consistency.
Really?
But
you don't want to try it.
And what's the shell like? Is it a hard shell?
The shell is hard, it's spiky, and it will hurt you. Like it'll hurt you because it's like spiky.
And you can throw it up.
How do you
so basically you crack it open, there's these different pods throughout. And it's expensive. It's not expensive overseas, but it's expensive here just because it's just really rare in shipping. Yeah. But you can usually buy it like frozen already, like packaged for you. Mm-hmm. But it has a really high fat content. So, like, for example, like, if you're a raw vegan, which is like me, where I don't eat any cooked food that's, like, cooked, I eat everything that's not cooked.
Right.
So, if I want to make a meal, like, I could literally just eat durian for a meal, and it has, like, everything that I need. Also, has the fat content. So, so if you eat, like, fruit that has a higher fat content, you can just eat it as that. So, I can eat that just as a meal. So, sometimes I'll do that for, like, lunch.
So, you, like, scoop it with a spoon or something?
So I usually eat it with a fork because it still has, like, a fibrous texture to it.
Yeah.
But it's just so delicious. It's so delicious. I'm gonna find like somebody that's gonna like it too. We're gonna have a durian party.
It's not us. Well, it might be.
I might try it.
You just gotta get over the smell.
Let me smell it, and then I'll see how bad it is.
I tried it with my family, and they all ran the wrong way. So I had all this durian one night to myself. But
Ethan says that you bring home all this stuff. Like,
that's pretty cool though. No, that's really cool.
And I love that you did not hesitate on your top 3 fruit, because I thought you were about to drop a million different things.
I know.
These ones are close.
Those are exotic fruits.
Yeah.
I would have said like a pear, like a mango or something like the basic.
All right, give me like one that you hate though. If one were to exist.
The fruit that I hate is I hate pears.
Do you?
I hate pears.
What is it? The consistency
or
the taste?
I've never liked them my whole entire life. The consistency's fine. It's just the taste.
Really?
I don't like them.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, and I barely use them when I make food for people, just because like I don't find them fun. Like somebody's like, oh, I want a pear dessert.
I mean, I think it's a
nutritional value.
People don't really eat like that, unless you really like a pear,
But like pear, like if you want to like roast a pear like in the oven, then that can like be good, and you make some sort of like a pear, and you have like some vanilla ice cream or something like that. You can make it.
I don't understand the
so we gotta talk.
Cooking fruit, because doesn't heat kill plants?
It does. Yeah. So that's the whole.
I told you there would be a lot of dumb questions.
No, it's not a dumb question.
Roasted pears, though?
Yeah. So you can roast, but you can like do roasted apples. You can have to make apple pie. You could kind of that same idea, but with pears. And so a lot of like, if you go to restaurants, a lot of pear desserts are like basically you just roast a pear in the oven for 20 minutes, and then actually really good. Yeah.
Cool. Can't believe you're shitting on pears like this.
And you can put like a pecan crumble or something on it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, that's not us. It's just someone out there who loves pears.
I'm sorry. Pears are great for you. Just personally, you're not gonna find me with a pear.
So next time we meet up, I might have to try a durian.
Let me know. I will be.
Bring a sample.
I'll be more than happy. Yes, I need to.
We'll probably have to put some like ventilation in the room.
You will. We'll have to do it outside.
We're not doing it in here.
So to do it like in the spring or the summer when it's nicer outside, and
plums. Plums are weird fruit.
Plums
are pretty good. I like
plums.
They're just so dark.
I'm not
They're
a
just
fan.
so dark, and like the eating's weird. I don't know why. When you said pear, I remember like when I haven't had a pear in like 100 years. But when I did have a pear, like when I was a kid, a few times, there was also plums there too, and I just associate those two together. Don't ask me why.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But yeah, plums are
random.
Yeah, those are like probably my two least favorite too, are plums and pears. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plums are pretty good.
Yeah, watermelon, my absolute favorite. Like in the summertime, like my whole Instagram, you'll just see eating watermelon all day.
I've seen Ethan get his hands on a few slices of watermelon.
My parents are the same way. Like they'll literally get like a big watermelon. We'll just be eating it. We'll make like watermelon juice and stuff like that. Just turn it up.
I would love, like, you know, I'm sure you know, those little scoops that you make perfect little circles in. I would love to do something with that with
like a watermelon.
No, you can. That you can do it with melon.
Not even just like eat them out of that, but like I want to make a bunch of little watermelon balls.
And
maybe
just put it in a bowl.
Later. Yeah.
No, you definitely can. Or you can freeze them and then just.
I was about to say,
do like ice cream or something.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. So it's very cool.
So there's two of the things I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
One, like the chef aspect of what you're doing, but two, just like the lifestyle of, you said you're a raw vegan. What are the differences? So all I know is that pescatarian they only eat fish and no meat, and then there's vegetarians that only eat veggies.
Alright, I'll break it down for you.
And then is plant-based the same as vegetarian too?
No. So there's the I'll give you the Spartan. So the standard American diet, where you basically eat everything. You know, eat meat, dairy, whatever you want to eat, packaged foods, whatever. There's and it's a lot of bad stuff.
I feel bad about it not being on the higher end of the spectrum.
And that's okay. And it's nicknamed the SAD diet, SAD for standard American diet, because the diet is just very sad and nutrients and everything. So it's like a nickname that the world gives it. So vegetarian is basically you eat everything, but you don't eat any dairy. I'm sorry, you don't eat any meat. So you still eat dairy. So you can still eat eggs, but you just don't eat any meat.
And is this is that for like a nutritional purpose, or is it because you don't like killing animals?
Usually vegetarians will do it. There's different. Some people have that ethical mindset of not eating meat, but then it's not really a full mindset because you're still eating the byproducts of the animals, and it's still like horrific of what these animals go through just to be able to like give their milk and produce the eggs, and just the whole process behind that. So a lot of times it's usually for health.
Yeah, and I'm so uneducated on like this side, like the lifestyle that people go through with these, because I assume it's because they don't want to kill animals, which is why they eat certain things. Yeah. But I'm interested in like the nutritional value, like benefits of all these different types of. So what's the difference between plant-based and is that not doing the byproducts of the?
So vegetarian is no meat, no fish. You're just eating. So you're eating veggies and anything else, and you can eat dairy, you can eat eggs. And then pescatarian is basically you're eating fish, like you're saying, you eat fish but you don't eat meat, but you still eat dairy, you still eat eggs.
And even the other one, you don't eat the chicken, but you can eat eggs.
Yeah, so you can eat the byproducts. So the milk, you can eat the cheese, you can eat the eggs, the things that they produce. You're just not eating the physical, like
the animal
of the animal. Which is still health benefits. So anytime the more you're eliminating animals out of your diet, the healthier your diet's becoming, the healthier you're becoming. Dairy is
that like a fact? Like,
it's a
why
fact.
Do people think that when you eat meat you become like stronger and like more healthy? Because I love meat.
You get some of the protein and stuff like that from it, right?
You do get protein with it, but you also get type 1 carcinogen, so you get the chance of you get the cholesterol, you get the high blood pressure, you get the you can get the cancer, the diabetes, you get all this other stuff packaged in that meat. It's just there's nothing in it that's good for you. And the animals, where you're getting that protein from the animals don't just have protein. The animals are getting the protein from the grass and the feed that they're eating. So they're the middleman. So why not just move the middleman and eat the actual grass? Because like if you look at some of the strongest animals in the world, like the gorilla and things like that, like the ox, like they don't eat meat. They're literally eating grass. And how are they that strong? And how they be able to?
Those gorillas,
they're huge. Gorilla. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Damn, I'm a dog. I never thought about that.
I mean, like, and I think too with. When it comes to like eating animals and stuff like that, like how the body digests that food, like it can't properly digest it, like that. So that plays another role.
Yeah, no, exactly. And and also it's just like the conditioning and marketing. Their vegetables aren't sexy, and you're not going to make a ton of money off of selling kale and carrots. And we're in a capitalistic world, and everyone's out to make money. And there's big industries, big meat industry. There's big, there's a pharmaceutical industry. It's like the country, and just when you're looking at businesses are looking to make money, and if you're healthy, you don't make any money off of anybody being sick. You make more money off of people being sick.
And
the pharmaceutical industries, they keep coming back and back. It's like, why cure a disease when you can like give people medicine for their entire
extend it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
carry them along.
So it's getting to that point where you understand like you're in this system that doesn't really have your best interests in mind,
right?
And you got to understand, okay, like where is this information coming from? Before, like cigarettes used to be considered healthy and they could be considered fine, and people started doing research, and now we're like, oh my gosh, don't touch a cigarette because you can get cancer and emphysema and all this different stuff,
right?
But back then people were like, well, what's wrong with cigarettes? It's the industry and the promotion and things like that.
Involved, people want to know more.
It scares me a little bit about like marijuana and stuff like that, because it started off the opposite cigarette, saying like how bad it is, and now people just don't know, so people are kind of leaning towards one way or another. It's just there's no answer, like whether, because with nicotine and cigarettes, I mean it's just a straight fact that there's no beneficial anything.
I mean, let's get into that point though, where it is become more mainstream public.
But anyway, so I'll go back to your point. So that was vegetarian, pescatarian we talked about, and so plant-based and vegan sometimes get wrapped in the same thing, but I'll tell you the difference. But basically, like a vegan diet, when somebody says that they're vegan, they're doing it from an ethical standpoint. So it's basically for the animals, for animal welfare, and
that's
all
what
the horrendous stuff that goes back. So when people say they're vegan, like some people misuse the term. Like vegan food is obviously not having anything from an animal, so not the animal meat, no byproduct, you're literally just eating fruits, vegetables, stuff like you can eat tofu, stuff like that. But veganism really comes from like an ethical standpoint of it, of being able to save the animals, and just not being part of all the cruelty that goes around it. And plant-based are usually, a lot of people when they use the term plant-based, is they kind of use that term in the sense where it's not from like an ethical,
but like a nutritional
it's value. More like people usually do it from more of a nutritional aspect of it. So right now there's no official definition of plant-based, and so a lot of people misuse the words, but to make it simple for everybody and people that are listening, plant-based and vegan from a diet perspective, the same exact thing.
Okay. So what's a raw vegan then?
So raw vegan is what I am.
Does that mean you just don't cook?
So that means you don't cook the food, because basically I'm vegan, obviously.
So you skip out all middlemen.
So you
skip the animals and the frying pan.
Yeah, I did.
Stuff like sushi. Sushi would be considered like.
So that's confusing. So you could have raw sushi and have raw fish, but that's not what raw vegan is, because you can't have fish.
Right.
So basically, raw vegan is eating a plant-based diet, but you're not cooking any of the fruits and vegetables. And if you do, you would basically not heat anything over 118 degrees. And why 118 degrees is because once you reach that there's actually been a lot of science and stuff behind it. Because once food starts to reach around 115, 118 degrees, that's when you start killing all of the life force of all the benefits of it. So it's like, if you're going to eat something, why not like get everything out of it?
Wait, so let's break this down scientifically. What's life force?
So life force is like, so when you're eating plants have energy, and they're getting their energy from the sun. So the sun, the whole photosynthesis, the whole thing, going in the sun. So it actually has like energy, and it has vibrations, and it's alive, just within with that aspect of it, but that's when all the nutrients and the vitamins and all the things that you want in your body to be able to help you heal and things like that.
But like when you pluck a leaf of spinach, that doesn't diminish it right then and there.
So
when you root it, take it from the source.
So technically, as soon as you cut something out of the land,
point, right?
No, but you want to try to eat it as quickly as possible. So ideally, if you could have a garden in your back, and at dinner time you go back and you cut the kale and you go and make it right away, great. But like when we go to the grocery store and you buy kale,
probably been there for
that kale's been there for probably a good minute. You're still getting nutrition out of it, but that's why like the whole thing of like eat local, buy from the farmers markets, organic, different things like that, because it's just the more the closer you are to its source of like where you're getting it from, and the quicker you can eat, the healthier it is for you. And so, and I'm just through a lot of research that I've done. I'm also like, I'll give you the personal story, even why I got into it. So I lived overseas in China for a couple years, and over there, when you eat,
got the corona, dude.
I actually lived in Wuhan, where corona started. So it's like really personal to me.
Have you seen the video?
I haven't. I've been like staying away from it.
It's a ghost town. I was on like late night.
They like got it. I was there for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Great experience. I knew some. I don't know it fluently, but I knew enough to be able to get around, go to a taxi, go to the grocery store, do my thing.
You want to give us a sample or not?
No, thank you. It's been a few years. If anybody's
put you on the spot,
Chinese listening, then they're gonna like yell at me. But anyway, so I got really, really bad food poisoning there. Mm-hmm. And so I basically went on an involuntary water fast for a week, where I literally drank water for a week. I couldn't eat anything. Like, my stomach was cramping. I felt like I was going to die. It was horrible. And so when I finally started to say to myself, okay, girl, you need to eat. And like, what are you going to eat? I said, okay, like, I'm in China. Everything's soaked in oil. I don't like trust some of the things that I'm eating. Like on the streets and stuff. On the street food and stuff. And I have to be really careful because my stomach is really sensitive right now. It's like, what can I eat? It's like, all right, let me just try to eat just like fruits and vegetables, but don't cook them, just eat them raw, not knowing what raw vegan was or anything. And so I started to do that. I was feeling better. I had a layover in Hong Kong. I really wanted to eat at a restaurant, so I like quick Googled like something like healthy on
like close by.
Yeah, close by. And I went to this restaurant, and it happened to be a raw vegan restaurant, not knowing what it was. And basically they had like sushi and wraps and cheesecakes and no tofu, because tofu you have to cook it. So it was just basically they manipulated fruits and vegetables into like sushi and pizza and cheesecake and all this like fun stuff.
Cheesecake, that's
so and I was like, whoa, what is this? And they're like, it's raw vegan. I'm like, what is raw vegan? And so I like, the food was amazing. It was so good.
I'm loving this backstory right now.
Yeah, and I was just like,
it all makes sense now.
Yeah, and I was just like, what is this? And so I like continued to try to eat that way. And so when I came back to America, I went for a 15-mile run. And usually when I go for a 15-mile run, I know that's like my run in the park.
Only 15.
Yeah.
It's some type of realization.
Yeah. I usually afterwards, I'm really tired, I'm really sore, I just want to go home, lay in bed, and be done. I literally finished a 15-mile run, and I said to myself, why do I feel amazing? Why do I feel like I could go for another 15-mile run? I've been running 24 years of my life, like almost every day. I've never felt like this in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, think about it. What did you change in your life? The only thing I changed in my life was what I was eating. And I was like, I literally felt like I was on cloud nine. I was
it was like a light bulb
so
went off, because you were a runner for so many years, so you knew when something was up.
Yeah,
and
like
you were you
exactly.
felt good.
And I'm very in tune with my body and like sensing things and knowing things. So it's like, all right, there's something to this
that I did that got me to that point.
So I just dove into it and just like, and granted, the information's not out there. You got to really dig in deep and find out about it. And so I just educated myself, and I just kept eating this way and felt feeling amazing and seeing a lot of other benefits. Like, I used to have like acne on my face, and it completely cleared up. I used to be really lethargic, not knowing that I was lethargic. I thought this is the way that you're supposed to feel. But like literally I could sleep 14 hours a day. Like, I would go to bed at like midnight. I wake up at 2:00 in the afternoon thinking that's normal. Oh, yeah, I'm young, I can sleep in, whatever.
That's
but
me
like
now,
it'd be so hard to still wake up after 14 hours, like, and I would still be tired. But I thought that was just like normal. That's the way Melissa felt. But then like once I started eating this way, I didn't need that much sleep. I was chipper all the time. I woke up just feeling
real energetic,
like so energetic. I felt like a cloud just lifted off of my face, where I was like, lack of a better word, like I was woke, like just my mental clarity, like I had more mental clarity. I was able to see things better. Like,
this is why I was afraid of you coming on the show, because literally I'm lethargic every day. I have like low energy.
Really?
Like,
you're sleeping at like 12:00 every day.
Oh, plant-based diet.
And then I wake up and I'm so tired still.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I feel like for me, I feel like that sometimes, but I think for me it's more so getting that right amount of sleep. So once I get that right, 6, 7, 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's a discipline too. I told you I like struggle with the discipline. So like I set my alarm at 8, but I shut it off and I'll sleep until I gotta do something.
Laziness.
Yeah. And I used to be the same way, like addicted to my snooze Yeah.
Sometimes it be like that.
It's an involuntary action. Like, I can't stop. I'm sleeping.
I don't feel like getting up.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna keep doing this conversation. So like, what's like a cheeseburger and cheesesteaks are like they're all I have in this life. So what's your cheeseburger? Like, what's your favorite absolute like vegan meal? Or do you not have one? So, it's just like once after a while, like all these natural things just taste the same.
No, so like when I first started out being vegan, my biggest thing was trying to replace the foods that I miss. So like I miss the taste, the textures of all the comfort foods and the flavors and ice cream and cheese and just all the stuff. And so I found out that, especially nowadays, it's so much easier than when I was vegan. There's a replacement for everything. You can veganize everything. Like there's awesome place where you get a vegan cheese steak and vegan like hamburger. Like there's a Beyond Burger and Impossible Burger and all these different like plant-based versions. Actually? They're made out of plants. And what I say, and this is just my personal opinion. So vegan. So a lot of people think, oh, if you're vegan, you're healthy. That's not the case. There's a way to be an unhealthy vegan. There's a way to be a healthy vegan. Like an unhealthy vegan, you can eat Oreos and French fries and call yourself vegan, and you are vegan. Like I mean, like vegan in a sense of like what you're eating, but
not plant-based. I guess.
No, you're still plant-based. Like we'll just use the word plant-based for the conversation to make it easier.
Yeah.
Since
you clarified it very well earlier.
Yeah. So we'll just use the term plant-based.
Yeah, but Oreos don't have plants in it. Though,
so basically, there's plant-based versions of all the types of foods that you love in a standard American diet: burgers and cheesesteaks and French fries. Like French fries are vegan.
How does that taste?
But so like right now, there's like these really good burgers that are. I personally haven't had them just because of the way that I eat. But there's it's called Impossible Burger and the Beyond Burger, and basically they made the burger like now Burger King sells them. They sell them, and like people that like are like burger fanatics who would never go vegan in their life eating them, and they feel like they taste exactly the same.
Yeah. It's literally a Burger King commercial.
Do you think it's real?
So, no, it's real. It's definitely made out of plants and stuff like that. But the thing is with these types of burgers is they're made out of plants, but they're also made in a lab. So like in a lab in the sense to be able to, as food scientists, to be able to help manipulate the taste of these different things and have the right types of, different plant-based products in them to make them taste, like texture exactly like the hamburgers. You wouldn't miss it. So I see those foods are people when they're initially going vegan as transitional foods. So like they're not foods that you're going to want, like if you're going to go and have a plant-based lifestyle and you're going to want to be healthy, you don't want to eat those every day because they're still high in saturated fat. They're still processed. They're still not very good for you. Yeah, but they're plant-based. They're saving the environment, saving the animals. It's a start into transition.
Wait, so I was thinking about this. So they mash up a bunch of vegan stuff and make like a patty out of it, and then I almost assume like they like dip something on it that makes it taste like that.
No, so it's spicy.
Wait, so when you say they make it in a lab, so
make it in a lab in the sense where
not the vegetables,
like
though, right?
No, like they're still using plant-based products. But there's
and do they grind up like carrots and
so
whatever plants?
There's different plant products that they have in it, and a lot of these are like soy-based. And they have food scientists where their job is they're like masterminds behind flavor. Yeah. So they know the flavor of like the burger. And they actually use science and they use all the little petri dishes and everything that they do. Like I'm not a scientist, so I can't tell you the behind the scenes.
That'd be a cool field of science.
But and they can actually like mimic the flavors, and that was the whole goal is when they're making these burgers. Like obviously you can have like a veggie burger made out of black beans and whatever, and they're still fine. But it's not going to taste the same because there's something in meat called heme iron, which gives it like this like taste, and so they were able to basically be able to figure out how to be able to get that same taste in there. So these burgers are out there and they're doing very, very well. They had an IPO a few months ago and it just like skyrocketed. Wow. Like Bill Gates. So
everybody's getting health conscious.
Yeah, everyone's getting health conscious, but it's also so there's a lot of these like fast food processed like plant-based products that are out there, and it's good for people that need that transition who don't want to miss that food. But then as you're getting more into it, if you're health conscious, you really want to eat a plant-based diet that is called like a whole foods plant-based diet, so where you're eating very minimally processed foods. So you're eating that like eating the sweet potato, you're eating the kale, you're eating the quinoa, the brown rice, the lentils, that types of stuff, versus like going in the grocery store and going in the middle aisles with everything that's like prepackaged.
Right.
because
buying the natural artificial stuff and
because a lot of food, when you look at the labels, it's just crap, and it's a lot of and this goes for standard American diet food and some even like the plant-based food. They have additives in there just because like they're not health conscious, behind it.
I feel like this country was just so like culture wise just.
Kind of interested in knowing how that even started, like the pre-processed and processed foods and things like that.
I just feel like we're so lazy as like a culture.
So it started because, like, for example, I don't know that. So how to be able to make this simple? So like basically after like the war and the whole industrial and stuff like that, it was like around the 1970s when people start, because before like everyone used to make their like probably your grandma could tell you a story. They used to make everything from scratch in their home, and the mom or the grandma would be in the kitchen all day long making breakfast, lunch, and dinner from scratch. And then as society was evolving, like no one's having time, everyone's out working, and then McDonald's came in and KFC and the fast food era started coming in. The microwave came into existence, and so people, this whole new wave of fast, quick, easy, tasty food that kind of started coming in around like the 70s, like 80s, and that kind of started this whole like process, and then it just
took off.
And it took off.
Like you said earlier, just making money, like people saw money in it. So
and people want quick and easy, and you're told this is healthy, this is good, and no one's questioning because everyone thinks like, oh, you're looking out for my best interest.
Well, that's the main thing. Like you were saying, you go into the main aisle of like the Whole Foods and you read the labels of things that already are branded as healthy for you. And I don't even do that for the things that I know are bad for me. So like it's just like a lazy. I was like raised on a lazy culture of like just eating what either looks or smells good, or even if I'm hungry, just whatever. So,
but it's like it's making that connection where if you eat a standard American diet and you have a standard American lifestyle, you're gonna get a standard American disease, which is basically like standard American diseases are diseases that are chronic diseases, like heart disease is the number one. There's diabetes, there's high blood pressure, all of that.
Cancer,
and those are diseases that you don't have to get. Those are diseases that are reversible, that are curable, that you can totally avoid by your diet. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to start thinking about health when I get sick. Well, at that point it's too late. Like what you're feeding, like even what parents are feeding their kids now before they give birth, like a mom who's pregnant, she should be thinking about her diet before she gets pregnant, and definitely when she's feeding the pregnant, because that's when you're actually like, so your microbiome, and I don't want to get too scientific for you guys, but your stomach tells everything about you. And everybody's microbiome is basically all the gut bacteria in your stomach, and basically that tells everything like about your health and different things like that. And so your microbiome starts to be affected when you're in like your mother's womb. And so like what your mother's eating is when you go when you're born, if your mom's eating Skittles, let's just out of a scam, like your mom's eating Skittles every day, when you get out, like you're going to be in tune to be eating Skittles. Really? But if your mom's eating like kale all day, you're going to be more in tune to like eating kale. And I've seen examples of this like in real life where like, for example, like some women were actually like pregnant through their whole pregnancies, they were eating like a plant-based diet and like no processed food, and their kids, and then she started like when they gave birth to their kids, she was starting to,
it came out green.
They didn't come out green, but they like she still continued a plant-based diet, and so when the kids were fed candy or like this processed food, they didn't want it. They're like, oh, this is too sweet, this tastes fake. And it's just and so like like if kids are eating very processed like Burger King, McDonald's and stuff now, and if you actually like do like if the doctor actually goes in and do a sample of like,
it's not going to be good though, whatever.
You can actually see it. They're starting to develop the different things that would predispose them for the chronic diseases in their lifetime.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking.
Every time like you eat, like if you eat 3 meals a day, you're making a decision on your health every 3 meals. You're either feeding disease or you're preventing disease. And once you figure that out, so if you don't figure that out till you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you already have 50, 30 years of your life of feeding disease. It's not too late because you can still change it. I've seen a lot of people change and
now I'm scared. I went from interested to a little scared.
I know, but it's just like I'm just trying to it took me a while to kind of change my thinking of being able to see, like, because a lot of times when you're young, you're like, oh, I'm invincible, I'm healthy, I'm great, like, and the sickness and like all that, it seems so far, it is so far away, but like
It doesn't have to be.
Wouldn't you rather? It doesn't have to be a thing. Wouldn't you rather be the 89 years old out there, running track, and traveling the world and doing all this stuff versus laid up in bed and on a in a hospital, like having to live on medication.
Aren't there times for you where you just you're just hungry though and you don't have sometimes you just eat whatever you have around if you're hungry, but will you just skip that meal or let that hunger pass you, or will you go out and find?
No, so
because I'm sure you prep very well for your week and everything, but if someone were to get started,
so if someone were to get started, and granted, I'm a very different story because I eat very, very particularly, I'm a very niche person, but just a general person who's plant-based nowadays, especially, it's so easy to eat plant-based. It's so you can go to 7-Eleven, you go to Wawa.
You say that, but
really?
There's all different types of plant-based products, and even some of the prepackaged products are vegan and things like that. But it does also take a mental shift of also being aware of what's available. There's apps now. There's one called Happy Cow where you can literally put on where you are. I know. Yeah, but it's the Happy Cow. You're not eating the cow. But it shows all the places in your area that sells a plant-based meal.
Okay. So you just gotta work a little bit harder, it seems.
It's a little bit hard in the sense where you gotta look at it, you're learning a new language. If you're going to learn Spanish now, you're not gonna know it fluently, but when you practice and you practice a bit more,
you'll feel more comfortable with it.
And eventually it's second nature, and it's just it's easy. I can go, I went to Bali a couple months ago and I was literally traveling 30 hours and I was there for a month, and most people be how are you gonna eat? It's perfectly fine. Second nature. I didn't even worry about it a bit because now I'm so experienced.
Right.
But you talk to people like me or other people that are experienced, and we can give you the tips and the tricks in the beginning for when you're trying to figure it out versus trying to figure it out yourself. But it's not that difficult.
I would need you over my shoulder 20%. Do not eat that.
I think for me, I was just gonna say, I think for me, I would probably never be able to be a raw vegan or something like that, just because especially my family and where we're from, meat and stuff like that is such an essential part of what we eat. It's just it's so hard to kind of put that to the side a little bit.
Some cultures are the exact opposite though.
Yeah.
Right. Cows are sacred.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially India. Yeah.
It's very
India, Middle East.
Yeah.
Right.
They just eat goats, I think.
Yeah. Lamb goat.
Yeah. How was Bali? Looks unreal.
Bali's amazing.
Our friend, me and Ethan's friend, just was there. Robert.
Rob.
He was on the show. There are monkeys everywhere. There are temples on the ocean.
It's just amazing. Also for the plant-based speed and the raw vegan scene.
Is that what brought you out there? Or?
It's a good place for that?
So it brought me out there for work purposes, and I also went out there for pleasure too. I've also a lot of research. And also a lot of research and development too, and be able to talk with other chefs and see what else is going on. Because it's one thing is it's seen as a plant-based kind of mecca of the world, where
really?
for example and a lot of people really, because in America there's LA is huge in plant-based, Miami you can get a lot of great options, New York is also popular, different restaurants and stuff. Philly's actually got a great plant-based scene, but in Australia has a really good scene, Europe has a really good scene. Bali just attracts a lot of plant-based restaurants and a lot of very mindful, health conscious, yoga type
I feel people, Japan has that
meditation type people.
No?
I didn't really get that feeling.
No, and I've been to Japan, and it's Bali's just a different feeling, energy. You kind of just have to go, and that's one reason I just wanted to go and experience it. And the foods, and they're very health conscious. Bali has a very big plastic and environmental situation on it right now, because they just have a lot of plastic bottles everywhere, so they're trying to they have no plastic policy and stuff like that. Trying to combat, but they're also a lot about the land and thanking the land.
The natives seem it seems like just a different place. He was saying, on the beach, there would just be natives there walking up with beers and selling it to people on the beach.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah,
I'll say because Bali's a very big touristy.
Bali's very touristy.
Wait, so you've been to Japan, China, Bali?
I've been a lot of places.
I've
been to China, Japan, Macau, Hong Kong, Korea.
So everywhere in Asia.
Singapore. I've basically done basically all of Asia.
I've done
South America.
Moscow?
Macau. Macau is right off of Hong Kong.
Okay.
Basically, Macau is known of basically being like the Las Vegas of Asia. Where like, yeah.
Wait,
so if you love like casinos and all that stuff, go to Macau. Otherwise, don't go to Macau.
Did you do all this while you were living in China, or
so you some of it while I was living in China? Because once you're over there, it's a lot easier to travel. It's a lot cheaper.
Wait, and what brought you over there originally? It wasn't school, was it?
No, so I went over there because I helped open up an English school. So from like the entrepreneurial thing, and I had a little stint in like teaching and just the business aspect of it.
I was gonna say, if you're willing to teach English in these countries, like they'll come over here, like
no, they will, especially if you're from an English speaking country.
Really?
Seriously,
be an English teacher.
Bali, you can actually go to too and not have to learn the language. Like everyone there, like
Balinese,
Indonesian,
I don't know. Like I went to some parts of Indonesia I went to, and they didn't really speak English, but they know like the general. Like I guess most people knew the general gist, or at least somebody there. At least the younger kids who were like in high school knew a little bit of English to like help you. And I've done like a lot of South America. So I've done some stuff when I was over there, and also since I've been back, I've also I had a sense of wanderlust and exploring and just.
But we all do, but you're actually doing it. Like, what?
Yeah. But it's just I always encourage like do it, but like do it and backpack. Don't do it and spend it. Like it depends what type of person you are. Some people like don't want to backpack and like want to be in a hotel and that's your thing.
But those are the tourists. They don't want to experience the culture.
But like I say, go dig yourself. Like be in the culture. Go stay in like hostels and you meet friends and all the people that are like minded all around the world.
Do you do all this independently?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And and it's just a great experience, and it's one it challenges yourself to get out of your comfort zone, which is hard sometimes.
That's why like I wanted to study abroad so bad in school, but like I wouldn't unless like my friends would do it. And it would all of my friends had like something else that made a problem for them not to be able to.
I was gonna say because I mean like
But he's the opposite.
I was gonna say, like, I just went to Japan last year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, literally almost a year ago.
Saved up a lot to do it.
Good for you.
And you backpacked. You were there for
good
while.
I was there for 2 weeks. I was there for 2 weeks.
Good job.
I went there by myself. Didn't know a single person.
Awesome.
Stayed in hostels.
So impressed.
So I was in Tokyo. Went to Yokohama, Kyoto, and Osaka, and I was just like you said, just backpack, had my suitcase, catching the train, going to these different places and stuff like that. So like I get what you're saying. Like and I've been telling everybody, I was like, yo, if you travel in your life, at least travel once by yourself. Like, because it's a whole.
A year later, how do you feel about like? Talking to you, are you like craving to go somewhere else?
Oh yeah, always. I'm always thinking about
what do you have planned next?
I don't even know, man. Like, Japan would be somewhere I would go back to, but.
I'll go with you next time you go. You gotta go.
Japan's expensive. It's expensive for an Asia country. It's probably like the most expensive.
Like Tokyo is like New York and London. Like
it is.
It's like New York and London.
Yeah.
I'd be buying samurai swords. So I'm gonna have to have extra cash.
I really saw some legit stores, yo. I know, like 60 bucks.
I was trying to big one home too. Yeah.
He FaceTimed me when he was like biking in like the street or something. It looked wild over there.
Yeah, I was in Kyoto and I was like FaceTime on Instagram.
How about you? Do you have a like future destination in plan?
Yeah, so
I've basically been all over.
I've been to a lot of different places. I haven't done Australia yet. I really want to do Australia, but I've been told if you do Australia, you can't just go for a week. You need to do like ideally a month or at least. I feel like it's everywhere though.
Everywhere you go to, you got at least.
So the Australian culture isn't as like permanent as like a Japanese culture.
I think Australia is probably
it's more laid back.
And I also feel like it's probably similar to America.
Yeah.
But there's like different places that are just like gorgeous, and also the plant-based scene's really big in Australia. So I'm just curious as to like explore it.
That Rob kid who went to Bali, he's living in Australia now. He's playing lacrosse over there, so he had a super interesting point of view on what life's like for him over there. So he's been there for like 2 years, living in Perth on the.
He's like a lacrosse coach over there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. At a university or
like a club.
So it's called Subiaco, which is like a town outside of Perth, and he from college was asked to play for their like semi-professional lacrosse team out there, and he didn't want a 9 to 5 or anything, so he's like, what could I do you know, kind of to keep living life kind of to the fullest almost.
That's awesome.
And so he went out there, but they don't have lacrosse at nearly the level we have here. So he kind of player coach, and now he's coaching Subiaca. He has like it's like a whole program. So now there's like little kids that he's coaching. Yeah. And he found a job out there now too. So
he's done a lot of different things.
He might never come back to America.
I heard you get paid pretty well too in Australia. I don't know, but
it depends. I think.
When we were younger, it was like you were making like $17 on like you could be like a waitress or something. Be making.
So I heard like minimum wage is a lot higher than
it's like 17.
Oh, it is 17,
or at least was. Yeah. And now we're like close at 15. This was back when we were like $7.50 or $7.25 or something.
Yeah.
And they have koalas out there too.
Oh yeah. So I've been to Haiti, India.
Really?
Yeah.
India. I want to try India too, but I heard it's like hard to go by yourself as a female unless you have like a connection. Which I do know some people there. So
I would say as a female it's pretty hard, just because it being like more of a still like a third world country.
Yeah.
I just feel like everything's so clustered. Like
I was clustered. The barriers and everything like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you go over there as a Western woman, and them seeing you, like how you dress, how you talk, and things like that. They're very fixated on, like, they'll literally, I remember we'll be in a car driving to different places. Like, people will look in the car and like the car will already be like all the way down the road, and they're still looking at us. Like, they're still looking at us. Like, those just they're like that, just looking at you. Like,
that made me dumb uncomfortable. And I don't know what they're saying or thinking either.
And I got stories too. Like, I remember we went to the beach while we were in Chennai, and we had the girls with us, and they would wear typical Western style bikinis, and like it was pretty weird. Like the guys would literally come up to them, like try to like talk to them, like take pictures and stuff with them and all that. And it was pretty weird.
That was goofy.
So especially in India, they're not used to seeing a lot of like Westerners. So when they see you, they're fascinated by you. They like really want to talk to you, come up to you, and really entertain you.
Totally get it.
So it's different.
So did you say where you were thinking you might want to go?
No, I was just saying like Australia, something like that.
You did say Australia,
I still need to do Hawaii. I want to do Hawaii really bad too, which is like it's part of America where I haven't been yet. But I've just done a lot of like outside
the hiking
America.
in Hawaii. It's like stairways to heaven, like to the very top of the. I've never been there. I've just seen. My friend was just there, so like it was like. There's just hikes like to the top of like the mountains, but like it's a single like skinny stairway all the way up, and there's like a monk or temple or something at the very top.
So it's similar to like Asia. Asia's like that too, where like
the pictures that Rob was showing me at Bali, like I didn't even know that place was real. Like
really?
the temples that overlook the ocean. I was like,
it's gorgeous. Yeah.
And that was there. I wonder how long in civilization like that's been there, or if it's like
they're like centuries and like some of them like they actually have some tourist areas where like some of the temples like you can't even go in the temples. They're like so sacred.
So they really were like been there for that long.
Oh yeah.
So could you imagine the culture that discovered that place and think about like this is where I'm going to build this temple because it's paradise.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, exactly. And Bali, it's definitely a place.
And we're stuck in America. Delco's definitely your favorite place in the world, I hope.
Thinking about it all the time, like, man, I could be somewhere else in the world where it's so cool at, and I'm stuck here in the U.S., like, where it's so boring.
And it's funny, it's because, like, a lot of times when you go overseas, like, depending on where you go, the pace of life is so different, and also just seeing, like, what really like struck me when I first went, I'm just seeing like, for example, I went to the Philippines. Philippines is gorgeous. If any place to ever go to the Philippines, especially if you're like in the beaches. So a lot of it's like untapped land in different places that like haven't been discovered really by like the tourists in the big hotels, or because like it takes like 8 hours to get to some of these beaches, but you're literally like on the side of these cliffs. You don't know if you're gonna live like the next couple hours because like this guy driving 1 million miles on like these back like mountain roads and stuff like that. So if you're gonna build like a Marriott fancy hotel, they're never gonna get all the materials down there.
That's awesome. Those are like hidden gems in the world.
There are hidden gems, and so but just seeing this of like going to these hidden gems and seeing these people that like, and obviously it's like third world and they don't have a lot of like infrastructure and things like that, but it's also seeing like the beauty of simplicity and the happiness on their face, and just like
it's something we weren't
living life and like in like literally paradise. Paradise like exists, like it was literally there, like with the sun and the coconuts and the fresh
so
fruit.
natural, away from the technology and everything
and
like that.
Yeah, no technology. Like you couldn't even get cell phones, and you're there, and you're like, I could live like this forever. And it's like, but in America, like you're working, you're grinding, working so hard just to go like spend 1 week in paradise.
What's your thought process about that? Like, do you ever think about it, just like almost giving up I don't know. It's just we were talking about so much about entrepreneurship and all the things you've dipped your feet into. So I'm kind of confused. Like, well, not really confused, but curious. So you cook, but is it for yourself or is it for a restaurant?
So I went to culinary school.
Because the pictures are absolutely bright. When I told you that like earlier, like I wasn't messing around. Like, I don't know if I would eat it, but like it's beautiful. No, I'm kidding. I would try. I would eat it.
You're talking about that fruit? The fruit you were talking about earlier?
Everything she cooks, dude. Like she puts it on like it's one of those like ratatouille, like really gourmet small meals with like beautiful colors and stuff. And the fruit pictures too are professional.
Like one times I found this like newfound hobby is I love taking pictures, but I have like no skill in it. It's just literally just me like playing around and just having fun with it. Which is all like so another hobby is just I love photography. I love taking pictures. Like when I travel, I try to do different fun shots and stuff like that. So just like learning that, but no, but like one thing about being a chef and one thing about being plant-based, and even just initially when I went, is I was so in like dire need to make sure I still had that flavor. So whenever I make food, like it's full of flavor. It's and I want it to taste good. And I feel like you're doing plants a disservice, and even plant-based food a disservice. There's a lot of plant-based foods out there that people eat, and like if that's people's first experience with plant-based food and it's not good, are they gonna want to keep eating it? Like no. Like you want to like if you're force you like the broccoli when you're young. My brother won't eat anything green because he literally won't. So one of like my missions was making plant-based food is making it delicious and making it really good, where people, if this is their first experience, whether it's their 10th experience, like they're gonna walk home and be like, no, this is really good, I would eat that again. And just me, like I don't want to live a boring life eating like just kale and carrots. Like I want to eat a life of feeling like eating in abundance and feeling like I'm not missing out on anything, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Just of knowing how to be able to utilize plants and flavors and spices and different things like that, and be able to use them in a different way. Basically making like what I do is like making the fruits and vegetables like art from a picture standpoint, just like being able to deliver it visually, and like presenting a dish. The taste almost matches, but also like a taste as well.
Are you lying?
No, ask my family. Ask anybody. I have everybody taste testing everything.
I don't know. You trying to get people to eat durian, so.
Well, durian,
That's the thing. Your food is beautiful and tastes good. Just smells like.
You get durian does smell. I mean, it's pretty good, but
So I used to work. So I went to culinary school. I used to work in the restaurant industry for a little bit, and then I got out of that and just wanted to work for myself. So I do a lot of private dinners. I do a lot of like I'm invited to basically like different restaurants to be able to help change like their.
Is this like word of mouth too, or
a lot of it's through some. I just started my Instagram, so some is starting to come from my Instagram, but a lot of it's just been through word of mouth connections.
Like, you don't have a website or anything?
No, it's in under construction right now. I'm working on that.
Is he helping you out with that, or are you doing that yourself?
I was gonna say if you want, I do not know a website at all. Okay, I'll take any help I can get. That's why it's not up yet, because it's just
you're very smart. You could definitely figure it out. But the vegan stuff, it takes time.
And for me, it's like it's time. I'm so busy.
That's not what you're focused on anyway, so spend the time doing it.
Yeah, but I also need to be spending the time doing it,
knowing how it works.
And also
you have a brand, like you have a brand that could be so well known to people if it only got out there.
And I kind of feel like I've kind of been, I don't want to say behind the scenes, but I've kind of been working with like in like a niche and like kind of like a bubble, and I feel like I can reach a lot more people if I start using these different platforms.
Big time.
And I feel like I have a message that everyone has a different message, but I feel like I also have another message and a different voice that I can like bring to the world. So I'm working on that, being able to develop that.
And it's not just like what your food looks like or what your diet is, but like your personality, like the whole brand, like the whole thing's there. Let's get it out there somehow. Let's tell Ethan to work overtime on that.
So we're gonna get you on here through our podcast.
I appreciate it. Yes.
So what type of events have you? Are they big, like vegan?
Yeah. So I do like some like bigger like conferences. So I go in, I'll be like a guest speaker. I'll do like a food demonstration where like as a chef, when you do food demos, you go in and you like give a talk as you're like preparing a food. So I'll do like a dish that I know people don't need a lot of equipment, that's easy to make at home, but it's also super delicious. So if they're gonna eat it, it's gonna be good. So I usually make like a dessert or a brownie or just something like that. So your name's
out there a good amount.
Yeah, but I'm like just trying to like get it out like more.
Like it might feel like a good amount like within the people you know, but like because obviously the internet, like we have people in Australia listening to this and like Texas.
I was gonna say,
so I do. No, it's fine. So I do like a lot of that. I also do a lot of like consultations with people that are looking to transition to a plant-based diet or transition to a raw vegan diet. So like, because two of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're transitioning is not eating enough food. So not eating enough food, and then they're hungry all the time. They're like, oh, this plant-based diet doesn't work because I'm always hungry, but they're just not eating enough food. Because the thing is like when you're eating like your burgers, your french fries, your standard American food, they're calorically dense, but nutrient deficient, meaning like you're gonna, like it gives you a ton of calories. That's why a lot of people are overweight, because you're getting a ton of calories eating a lot of this food, and it's not giving you any nutrients. You're like overeating on it because your body's like, feed me, but you're feeding it, and you're like, no, I can't, like I don't have any nutrition. It's also addictive. They have a lot of different like chemicals in there that actually to make it addictive. So like, you ever know if you eat a bag of potato chips, like you eat a bag of potato chips, you can't just eat one, you got to eat like 10. You got to come back because they actually have exactly, because they actually purposefully have an additive in there to make it like an addictive type of effect to it.
I mean, you kind of like would assume that's out there, but if it's that's kind of creepy. And it's a lot like the pharmaceuticals we were talking about earlier, like why treat someone once when you can have them come back to you every week.
Exactly.
Same thing with the food.
Exactly.
Get people hooked.
Exactly.
They should be a law. You shouldn't be able to like monetize something that has addictive quality.
We're in a capitalist country where you can do whatever you want. I'm all for like making as much money as you can by any means possible, but like do it ethically. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. And
I feel like people should have the common sense.
And so like I think with this whole plant-based is starting to get a platform right now, and it's starting to be more well known. And I think hopefully the direction of our country will start to go that way, where people are starting to question more about where my food's coming from, what are the ingredients, how is it ethically sourced, like the people that are making it overseas are being paid fair wages, like, and some people, especially with the millennial generation, they're the ones that are kind of leading this charge.
I was just about, right. I think our generations are taking that.
Those are the questions that I wouldn't really be thinking to ask though, at the same time. So.
It's kind of just thinking about, like, because a lot of times you just think about like what's on your plate, but when you start to think about like where that came from, and that's like the whole ethical side of veganism, like what happened from the cow to this plate is dramatic and terrifying. So like I would say go watch a documentary called Cowspiracy or Earthlings, and see if you even can make it through that movie.
I'm just saying, your dumbass brother showed me one that I think Austin showed him.
So I'm not even going to lie. So we were having a conversation yesterday about like hot dogs. So I don't like hot dogs whatsoever, because like I said, when I was younger, like my sister told me what was in hot dogs, and I was just like, I didn't like them already, but even then I was like, I can't eat this anymore. So that kind of brought that memory. Like, I see what you're saying. But I don't think I want to know.
But it's like. Sight unseen, but once you know, it's just like...
Changes your whole life.
It changes your whole life where you can't unsee it. And like, that's what happened to me. It's like, I watched these documentaries, I saw this, I was like...
Scarred.
And it was literally like night and day. I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to be part of this. I do want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Like, I can't... Like, your mind, like what you spend your dollar on is so powerful, and it's telling that industry to keep doing it. And if I go ahead and buy meat, I'm telling the industry.
That's an interesting perspective. Like,
But I saw like a documentary where like even like where apples come from being picked from the tree to like being sold in stores, and it's just wild the process they go through. Like they like through like pesticides, but they also like they get like injected things that allow them to live longer without like oxygen, because they come in like bags and stuff,
and stuff like that.
Even those are like unhealthy too. So when we talk about on an animal scale. And
yeah.
even have chicken fingers and chicken patties.
Yeah. And they're like, and they have hormones stuck in them. They're living in these cages where there's just disease rampant.
Well, that's what Ethan showed me is the slaughterhouse.
And it's
I don't think I'm going to eat anything else anymore. I think I'm just going to drink water.
Yeah, no, seriously. And these animals, they feel pain. You see them crying. It's just, it's
the pigs,
horrible.
Too. You hear the pigs squealing. Oh my god. The way they treated the little, oh my god.
Yeah.
Because they keep the big pigs in a cage where they can't turn around.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll be pregnant and have little piglets in the small cage and they won't be able to move, so they'll end up either crushing like the baby. But my god.
And they're artificially inseminated They give birth to their kids. They never get to befriend their children. The children are immediately stripped away from them, and then they're artificially inseminated again.
They throw they handle the baby, so it's just
it's hard.
We're talking about ethically eating the right thing. I don't it must be you must have no ethical to be able to work at these slaughterhouses. Because these people in the documentaries, they don't seem like they're
really show any emotion or anything like that.
Well, they just don't seem like they're doing it because they have to for a family or something. But they seem numb to it.
Some of it is,
and it's the way they were raised as well.
Of money, and some it's they were born into it, and
born
some
on a farm where slaughtering animals. But at that scale, it was, and that's one in God knows how many around the world.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's tons. Yeah, it's horrible. So.
But even in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not even hungry, but I think of the perfect looking cheeseburger, and it's just, I don't know.
Go eat the Beyond Burger, and then Impossible Burger, then come back to me and tell me it was delicious.
I'll be like the guy on the stupid commercials, wait, this is you see the commercial where they pretend to wrap them a burger?
Yeah.
This is the best burger I ever had. No, it's not even.
Yeah.
It's a whole different.
But you see a lot of rappers and celebrities and professional athletes, and really taking on the plant-based diet.
Yeah, you saw John Jones. You put that up on your thing.
Yeah, and there's so many celebrities and just people that are just really getting onto this and I don't want to say bandwagon, but are understanding what the situation is and the importance of it.
Because the conversation has now been established. Now people are listening and understanding.
Yeah.
But this was I was so excited to have you on the show because I know so very little, but the conversation is so big around the world. So.
Yeah.
I feel very educated after this episode.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good. And it's good just because it's like I was saying, this stuff is not out there, and so unless you're searching for it or unless you happen to fall into a conversation with somebody, some people just it's not their fault. They just don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. 20 years ago, I had no idea. I wish I knew. My life would be dramatically different. But I'm glad I know now, and not when I'm 60. But it's just there's so many people out there that just don't even know, and it just even
now
you can just
what criticism are there of are there diseases you get from just eating going plant based or something like that?
Nah, there's no way. Right? I feel
are there any negatives besides not being able to eat other things that you like? It seems hard to maintain a day after day eating vegan.
I would just say the challenges for people, which are so easy to overcome, is I was saying, is knowing how to eat enough food to where you're full and you're satiated. Satiated mean you feel good, you feel happy, you don't feel like you're missing anything, but also eating the right foods.
Right.
It's I was saying, there's a way to be unhealthy vegan, which some people just want to be vegan ethically, so they don't care about their health, and that's what it is, and you're still saving animals and environment, blah blah blah. But I really feel that's very important, but also the other levels nutritionally, because chronic diseases are just rampant.
And that shit scares me.
And it's scary, and the ratios of people getting all these diabetes and stuff like that are just
it's increasing.
It's increasing, and so you literally have the power with your fork
just
to
how
be able to do that.
You could just change so much.
Yeah, exactly. So I think just more people can know about that, the better.
And how do you know the portions? Do you eat what's a big meal? How? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking of a bowl of
So
spinach.
I'll give you. No.
That's why I got spinach.
I love it. Yeah.
I might
So when people start out eating plant based, especially when I coach them and stuff, a lot of times I'll help them. You want to do it easy, you want to do it affordably, and you want to do it where it's just less headache, and it's also going to be really good. So a lot of things, it's very popular. Something that's called it's called different names. You can call it a nourish bowl. You can you call it a Buddha bowl is the most popular. They also call it like grain bowls, where basically you have a bowl. It's kind of like a poke bowl, but not like the fish.
I was going to say,
but basically it's like Chipotle style. Let's just say that. So basically like you build like a rice bowl. Yeah. So like the bottom would be like whatever your greens are, so sauteed spinach or kale, and you can make it raw if you want, with not cooked. And then you have like a grain, so you'd have like a brown rice, you'd have a quinoa, something like that. Then you'd have like a sweet potato.
Are these like categories that you're listing off? That, like,
I'm listing. Yeah. So I'm like making sure you hit like all the different things.
So you get your greens, your grains.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Oh, like the different categories.
Yeah, so make sure that you're getting your carbo, fats, and proteins, but also, like, if you eat in abundance and you eat a lot of different foods, you're making sure that you're getting everything that your body needs to be able to function, not be deficient in anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you'd have, like, your veggies, and then, like, you'd have, like, your fat, so you'd have, like, an avocado, you could do, like, hemp seeds on top, or you'd have, like, a dressing made out of, like, cashews and blah, blah, blah. And you kind of put that on there.
That this all goes to.
Yeah, and then you just, like,
natural.
Yeah, and then you just, like, and it's super easy to make. You can also meal prep it, so you could, like, batch prep it all on, like, on Sundays, and I've had like a bunch of clients do this, and then they just have it all set out for the week. So
I want to really get into meal prepping, and
so I'm interested in knowing how do these consultations go when you first tell the person like this is what you need to do to be healthy? Are they like kind of shocked and surprised, like, wait, what? Like you got to do all that, or are they just kind of like, okay, that makes sense?
So I do it in a way where I customize it for everybody, and I meet people where they're at. Because not everybody is at the same level of education wise, and also their work life, their culture background. Like they're saying, like, is it are they the only person in their household doing this? Is it just like the husband and not the wife? Is it both of them? Like, are they doing this for health? Are they doing it to lose weight? Are they doing it to be an athlete? There's so many things. I literally find out like everything like I possibly can about the person, and then I tailor it based on their needs, their pain points, and what they really need. Like some people are like, I need 100 recipes. Some people are like, I don't want recipes. I just want the quick, easy, like, I don't want to be in the kitchen for 10 hours. Just like, give me what I need. So I tailor it towards them.
It's exactly like personal trainers.
It's just
like
personal trainers. They get to know the person,
understand what their goals are, and then fit their like, schedules towards that.
Exactly.
Just two different industries.
Yeah. And like when I work with athletes, I do it a little bit more I do it more scientifically, where I really find out like a lot of like their personal data, and then because like when you're an athlete, like you're literally using food as your fuel, which is like serious, and also like you need to make sure you're getting the right ratios of carbo, fats, proteins, and the minerals and everything that you need to be able to succeed at your sport. So really being meticulous about that and figuring, okay, like based on your profile, based on your goals, based on your sport and the amount of energy that you expend and what you need for recovery, blah blah blah, okay, and based on when you do, like when are you working out in the morning, you're working out in the night, and just basically take a picture of the whole entire thing and to develop a meal plan for them that they can succeed like at home and also when they're traveling. And there's a lot of like different other foods that you can do to kind of like enhance recovery and stuff like that. So I really do a holistic picture and customize it for everybody.
I mean, that's a super
and that's kind of what I'm building out more right now.
I mean, I feel like there's unreal money in there, and it's kind of tailored to what you like to do.
It's kind of, I'm basically packaging everything like what I went to school for, and just having all this knowledge, and I have
what
like
you're
a
doing now. Your lifestyle now.
That's really cool.
So I want to like without having a trainer like you or someone, like I want to do it, like be able to be conscious, on my own. In like the next phase of my life, and I don't. I just need to get that discipline down.
I was gonna say, I think the hardest thing is getting that discipline, because, like you said, like sometimes you'll see something, you're really in the mood to eat something. I can't eat it because I'm doing this. And it's just that temptation, And sometimes it just kind of overcomes you, and you're just like, I'm gonna just do it.
No, totally understand. I think what helps that is figuring out your why. Like, why are you doing this? Are you doing it because of the diet? It's not going to last. Are you doing it for animal welfare, the ethical aspect? Are you doing it for your health? Are you doing it because diabetes runs in your family? You're going to get it if you don't. Like, whatever your why is,
that will help you.
And whatever you do, it doesn't have to be with eating, just in your like professional life or whatever you're trying to accomplish. If you have a why, and it's something that will keep you up at night, and something that will like actually really hits your heart. Like if you go to that will help you
continue on.
And then also like you're on your own journey and you're on your own pace. Some people can go plant-based overnight. Some people can't. Some people, okay, like, I just need to eat, some people just like, I need to eat one plant-based meal a week. Great, go for it. Like, just do that, get in the habit of it, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll just do breakfasts, or then I'll just do lunches, or I'll just do, like, they have, like, something called, like, Meatless Monday, and you find your rhythm.
Yeah, that's a start, too, I guess.
And then you can kind of, like, figure just it out from there. Yeah, there's a ton of different ways to do it.
Slowly make that progression.
Yeah.
So other questions.
Yeah.
Did you like steak growing up or like anything?
Great question.
That's one question. And the other one is like, does that make you cringe? Like, what, like a beefy burger in front of you make you like cringe almost?
Like when you're around somebody else and they're eating like a good burger, you probably like kind of.
Like, so I'm different. So I never really liked meat growing up. Okay. I ate it because I thought it was healthy because that's what I was told. Yeah, and I ate it because like my parents said eat it, so I ate it. But I'm like known in my family as like a joke where I literally be the last one at the dinner table, and like I had to eat like my peas and my meat, and I hate peas and I hate meat. So like I literally would wait till my parents just got sick and tired of just sitting there with me, and they would leave the room, and then I would either like wrap it up in a napkin and throw in the trash, or I'd like stick it underneath it. Yeah. And then finally my mom caught on, and I got in trouble. I was like, dang. And then like so I've never been like we had spaghetti. I'd always have it like meatless. I was never into eating like meat. The only thing I ate was like chicken and turkey.
What about like pasta?
Pasta. When my mom used to make pasta growing up, she would like put ground meat in like the pasta sauce.
Yeah, so that's
like that.
Yeah.
So that's another. But like, is pasta part of like the vegan?
Pasta's vegan.
It is good. Okay.
Yeah. Some pasta's not, because some pasta, like authentic pasta, is made with like egg.
Yeah.
Like egg noodles and stuff like that, but a lot of pasta noodles aren't. You just have to know.
Okay, I could work with that.
Yeah. But like a lot of foods would surprise you that are actually vegan. Yeah.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. But anyway, so I wasn't really into meat, so it was easy for me to give it, because I went vegetarian like when I was in college. It was very easy for me to like transition.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me was cheese.
To do at that age.
Yeah.
But I guess if it wasn't, you weren't super big into meat beforehand.
And then when I learned, and then when I learned the health ramifications, I was like, oh no, I definitely don't need it. Yeah. But I was literally only eating because I thought I was
supposed
to. That's all you need.
That is like I got
my
spark
protein
or something like. Just like something you had to see to be like, well, that's it.
And I'm that type of person. Like if you show me the facts and I know the truth and like there's evidence behind it, it's like,
all right, cool.
Like I don't need a lot of like.
You don't sleep at all if you just it's truth now.
Yeah. Like if it's like and then I make my decision off of how I want to live my life. Yeah.
So like I got a question. So like when you have kids and stuff, are you gonna put them on to like the raw vegan, or are you just gonna?
I'm gonna do plant-based 100%, and raw vegan would be their choice. Right. Just because raw vegan, like I'm still gonna do it, but raw vegan is it's a whole different level.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a certain type of person. And it also, it's life altering in a way where you like you have to kind of just navigate it. It took me, like, I've been raw vegan for 6 years, and it took me a good few years to just kind of figure it out.
What are you missing? What are the big things you're missing?
The big thing that you're missing is you're not cooking the food, so it's harder to go out to like a restaurant or go over at a house of somebody's eating stuff, because one, people don't know what raw vegan is, and
so like steamed carrots or something like that, is that not a thing in your diet?
No, because it depends on like what temperature they're cooked at.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
The 118.
Yeah. So like,
there you go. You're paying attention.
Yeah. No, that's very good. That's very good. Yeah,
he's good.
There's like food thermometers, and a lot of times like your food, if you're like if I make raw vegan food, because I do that as a chef, like you use a food dehydrator. There's a lot of like cool things you can do with the food dehydrator and stuff. So it just took me a while to figure out how to navigate like my social life and traveling and just like living and stuff. And also like you were saying, like, do I crave things now? Like now I've made my diet so clean where I don't have cravings anymore. Like I literally crave, like it's so weird, but I literally crave like watermelon. I crave spinach. I crave a smoothie.
I want that in my
juice. It's so weird, and and it's like if you have a burger or like a cheese, like or like a piece of cheese or stuff I used to love, like. One, I forget what it tastes like in a way, but also I just like
so long.
and I also like know if I ate that, my body would scream because it had that for so long. So I do like juice fast and different stuff like that now and stuff. So
I'm into that. So like smoothies are regular.
Smoothies are great. Yeah, I use smoothies.
What's your favorite recipe?
My favorite recipe for a smoothie?
Yeah.
I love...
Fruit,
like the green smoothies?
They're not actually my favorite. I love...
What'd you say?
I said the green smoothies.
Oh, yeah.
I love blueberry. Because blueberries are like, if there's any food that you should eat, it's blueberries.
Really?
They are the highest antioxidant content, and they're just super anti-inflammatory. They're amazing for it. Like, if any, you should definitely eat at least a fourth a cup of berries a day. Like, the scientific evidence behind it of just like with helping you not get diseases and different stuff like that are like skyrocketing. But anyway, so I'll do like a blueberry smoothie with like blueberries. I'll use bananas. I'll use dates, and I'll use hemp seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, a little bit of vanilla, and you blend it up, and it just tastes great.
Does it have more of like a fruit taste, or is it more?
I like my smoothies with like a creamy, like I don't want to say creamy, but like kind of like if you think you'd have like a milkshake versus like a berry shake. Mine would be more like what a milkshake would taste like. And I use the hemp seeds to like creamy it up because hemp seeds are like have a fatty context to it.
You listed like 4 or 5 seeds. I didn't. I had the blueberries and the bananas.
Blueberries and bananas, and I use dates because dates add like another sweetness, but also they're high in potassium. They also have like a high caloric intake, so I can literally make a smoothie, and my smoothie would be like 1,200 calories. And I could literally eat that as a meal, and that would last me for hours.
1,200 calories.
Yeah, but you can make it less. But usually when I make a smoothie, I make it as a meal. It's 32 ounces.
Like Ethan and Bill are trying to eat as many calories a day as they can to get to the gym. Was shocked. I didn't. Yeah, what? 100? What?
Yeah. So usually it's like anywhere between 3 to 4 to 5, like 3 to 5 bananas. Then you have like a half a cup. You usually have like a cup to 2 cups of like the berries, and then you have like 2 tablespoons of like hemp seeds.
So it's kind of like a big ass.
It's huge. It's a 32-ounce smoothie. Okay. Yeah, so it's big. Like you'll literally eat it and be full.
Will you drink that at one time or just make it? Really?
It's my whole. It's like I'll use it as a meal. Yeah, like I actually had one before I came here. So I knew I'd probably be here for a while. I was like, I need to have a smoothie to keep me going.
And you're glowing too.
Thanks. But anyway, so then I'd have like. When you go vegan too, so you're not getting like your omegas, like your essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids are the fats that are essential for your body that your body can't make on its own. You have to get it from a food source. So if you're not getting it from like animals or what fish is known for, like getting omegas, you need it through a plant-based source. And so the highest plant-based sources are chia seeds and flax seeds, and hemp seeds have them. Also walnuts have
omega,
them. For omega.
What are flax seeds?
So flax seeds, they're like there's just like little seeds that kind of look like sunflower seeds, but they don't like you wouldn't eat them like a nut. Like you literally would like.
Do they grow into
something? People usually use it as like a flour, so like they're mixed in like breads and stuff like that. That's usually when you'll see them.
Glad we have evidence of this though, because I don't even know what we've been talking about. all I've been thinking is like, do I give up cheesesteaks or do I not?
I've already made that decision. I'm like, I can't do it.
If you miss cheesesteak, go to Hip City Veg. Have you heard of it?
I've heard. Oh yeah.
Okay. Go to Hip City Veg in Philadelphia. Yeah. It's a fast food like plant-based restaurant, and they have like their Philly vegan, like their Philly like their version of a cheesesteak.
So they got the scientists in the lab developing the hats and Geno steaks.
Basically, yeah. And they also have a fried chicken. Ask them what their most popular is, but like they have like a buffalo fried chicken something, and it's basically like a fried chicken with the quotes because it's plant-based with like blue cheese. It's made out of probably soy or tempeh, which is basically like a soy, like it's basically made out of soy.
What about like falafels?
Falafels vegan.
Yeah, I'm so stupid.
Hummus. Yeah.
I went to like Challah Guys for the first time ever. It was somewhere in KOP. I met my buddy Aaron there for lunch, and I got a falafel.
How'd you like it?
I did not know what it was.
Oh really?
It's pretty good.
Good.
It looked like meat though. Like it looked like meat, and then I took a bite, and it was like a gross looking green color inside, and it didn't taste good. And then like someone told me it was chickpeas. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's like chickpeas and different herbs and stuff.
I just always hear falafel, but I never really thought to like look into it, and then I just associated with like waffles, but then it looked like meat, so then I was like, I'm gonna give this a try. I thought it was goat or something. I spent $10 on something.
That is so funny.
I did eat it. I was hungry, but
yeah.
But that would be a good alternative for me. Like it looked like meat, so at least I could trick myself.
There's a lot of places. There's a lot of good vegan places in Philly, from like soul food, fast food type of stuff, even to like really fine dining, like veg. I'm not sure if you've ever had a veg. It's like it's like world renowned. It's like a really good vegan restaurant. It's fine dining and it's expensive, but it's like
good experience.
It's such a good experience, and the food is so good. You take the person who like never wants to eat a plant in their life, they'll go there, they'll like the food. It's so flavorful, really rich. Really? It's really hard to get in, so if you want to make a reservation, you need to make it like weeks in advance.
What's this place called?
Yeah, Veg. VEDGE. It's it's by the convention center. Like right off of Market Street. Right off of Broad Street. It's like
right off of Broad.
Right after Broad. It's right after like University of the Arts, where you're like like in between the University of Arts and City Hall. Yeah. Like Locust Street, one of those streets, Sampson Street.
Spruce around.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, and it like looks like it's like a brownstone like house, and you go in and then it's a nice fine dining restaurant.
Do you ever consider working in like
I have, but
environment like that?
I have worked in an environment like that, but
like, so the pictures you post on Instagram, I thought that was your job. I thought you worked at like
some type of like
at like a 5-star like restaurant or something like that.
I learned, so the style of food that I make, as I that's like when the culinary school that I went to is like a fine dining, like raw vegan, plant-based like restaurant. So the techniques that I know and like the style of plating and stuff, I learned underneath somebody that does like 5-star or 5, like, so that's
that at the culinary?
Yeah, I was at the culinary, so that's like all of my artistic skills like come from that. But I realized, like, at least right now in my life, because I worked in the restaurant industry, and I really like the creative aspect of it, of being able to kind of, like, control the dishes that I make. So a lot of times you work in a restaurant, you're very restricted to their recipes, and I'm very creative, and I want the creative freedom to be able to make what I want.
So what you're doing is almost perfect, because you have that flexibility. You're not stuck to a menu.
Yeah, and I also feel like I have another platform to be able to reach people besides just making food, of like actually like, because it's my whole life revolves around this, and there's so much to it, from like self-love to like, you know, all this other different stuff that like come from it, that I feel like I can, you know, get that message out.
Get back to people.
I don't know if like botanist is the right word or not, but have you ever like dabbled with growing plants? I want to like, do you imagine yourself with your own garden that you can completely survive off of? And
absolutely.
What's that look like to you? Yeah. You got like a fruit salad?
I literally have my own, my whole backyard or wherever I am is like,
that's what you deserve.
That's what I deserve. I love it. Yes, like I want to be able to grow like all of everything. Be self-sufficient, and also just like the flavor quality of like a fresh, and I know this is weird, but like the fresh anything, like a fresh picked apple or a fresh picked like thing of kale or lettuce.
I can't even think of the last
mind-blowing difference.
Have your own like little grocery store in your backyard.
That's true.
Okay, maybe that's wild. All right,
I know.
Let's cook that.
It's so crazy, and I never knew, because you're so used to what you're saying. You go to the grocery store and you only know like the same 10 fruits: apples, bananas, oranges, and you just like and the taste that you get in the grocery stores is like the food's been sitting there for months. And when I was finally exposed to and like so the flavors, like the nutrients are dying and the flavor is dying, but like when you go to a farmer's market and you taste like a fresh crisp apple, something like
it tastes so different.
It's so different. Like I hate strawberries, but I actually went to a strawberry farm like in Maine. I had strawberries and I was like,
change your life.
Change my life, yeah. Really? I'm like, this is what strawberries supposed to taste like. Okay.
How do you hate strawberries?
I know, because to me they don't. I know, it's like they don't have any flavor to me. Like I know I'm weird.
Right. You might be eating them.
I might. See, I feel like I'm not eating them when I think they're not ripe enough. Yeah. But anyway.
Who knows when the right time to eat those things?
It's a guessing game.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'll try it.
I associate so much fruit with like just the flavors that other like candy and stuff give them. So that's why like strawberries like my favorite. I love the look of it and like strawberry flavors.
Candy and stuff.
Yeah. But like about the ripeness is like a lot of people don't realize is that when people are going to throw their fruit out, that's usually the best time to eat it, when it's the ripest and when it's the sweetest.
Really? Like bananas.
Like bananas. Like you're supposed to wait till they actually get brown spots, because that's when they're more digestible.
I hate bananas.
That's the best time to eat them.
That's the best time to eat them because they're more digestible.
So not when they're green,
has broken down. Definitely not when they're green. And then like if you're making a smoothie, make a smoothie with a brown banana, make a smoothie with like a green, like yellow banana, and then come talk to me. Big difference. Wow. Big difference. Right. Yeah.
You hear that, Mario?
I'm like,
but you just do it, then you freeze them. Don't make a smoothie with them warm, like room temperature. Like freeze the bananas when you make a smoothie. Okay. Yeah.
I've seen.
Because they don't need ice, you don't need water in the smoothie or anything like that.
True.
Yeah.
No water.
Like I guess so actually sometimes like I'll do like a little, like a quarter of a cup of like water just to get it going in like the blender. But like when you add like water and ice and stuff to the smoothie, it takes the flavor like away. Like waters it down.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think as far as like liquids that you drink other than water. Yeah. So there's water and then the smoothies you make.
Water,
what about like, is almond milk have dairy in it?
Almond milk, so I make you can make a plant-based milk based out of any nut and seed. So you can make like hemp milk, flax milk, oat milk. You can make flaxseed milk, you can almond milk, pistachio milk, any type of nut. The most popular obviously are like almond milk, which I make myself at home. It's really easy.
How do you make
how do you convert seeds into either flour or liquid?
So flour you would dry it, make sure it's dry, and then you need like a Vitamix, which is like a really, or a Blendtec, which is a very high powerful blender.
Powerful blender.
Powerful blender.
Really breaks it down.
Oh yeah, then you blend it, literally like turn it on for 30 seconds and it'll break down all the almonds and you'll have almond flour. To make like almond,
just like that.
Really quick. And if you make almond milk, basically you need to soak the nuts in water. So basically you do, for example, like a recipe would be like 1 cup of almonds and you soak it in water and like in a glass jar overnight for like 12 hours. And that basically is like infusing the nuts with water and like basically making them like awake again. And now, they're making them more palatable. And then you strain the almonds and then you put the almonds in the blender, 3 cups of water, preferably like filtered water. Then you just blend it for like a minute. And then you pour it into a nut milk bag or a cheesecloth, which is basically like this really fine mesh bag that you pour the mixture in and then you squeeze it.
So it keeps the seed, like the hard part of the seeds in there?
So, because like, so basically there's like pulp. So you keep the pulp stays in the bag and
that's
the
what I
milk
was saying.
comes
do you have
out.
like these seeds in the milk? Or, so that's cool.
So then you have like the milk and then the pulp, don't throw that out. That stuff is gold. You either just, so you can make like cookies and all different fun stuff with it, or you can freeze it and then just like take a chunk of it and stick it in your smoothie because it still has like all the nutrients and stuff that you want in it.
I'm feeling, like you said earlier, I'm pretty woke right now. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. And then it's just like it's what they call is not pasteurized, meaning that like the almond milk you buy in the store is pasteurized, meaning they heat it to a certain extent to make it self-stable. So like the almond milk can be on the shelf for like a few weeks.
It won't go bad.
Yeah, but if you make it at home, it'll only last for like 3 or 4 days if it's fresh.
That's how you want it.
Yeah. So very easy to make at home. Yeah. So I'll drink that, or I'll make it.
You have one of those blenders?
Yeah. That's like my number one kitchen tool. That, and then I'll also make And then I'll also make juices. So I'll make fresh pressed juices. I have like a juicer at home.
Like
so I'll make
juice, that type of
make
stuff.
Orange juice. I usually do green juice like every day. That's like kale, cucumber, parsley.
How does that taste?
Apple. Delicious. Yeah. But see, when I make it for myself, like I love ginger, and ginger's like super like good for you, especially with like for your immune system and everything. So I'll do like a lot of ginger. Plus it has a warming effect when the winter makes it feel warmer.
You don't need it raw, like do you?
You put it in the juicer raw. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it extracts all the juice from it. Oh no, I'll grate it if I'm putting it into a recipe and like mix it up in something, but you don't just like eat it raw, or you like just juice it. So, like
at that restaurant gig I was at, I had to like skin one. like a ginger branch or something, and they come in. They're not what I thought they look like. They have like it looks like cancer almost. It looks like really weird.
It is. It's like this knob. Like,
and I had like this peel, like like those peeler things, and that was just not effective.
What were you doing with it? Like what?
I had to peel and bring it to the bar for them to put ginger in like martinis.
Okay.
Or something.
Okay.
And it took me like an hour to figure it out. But I watched a YouTube video. You're supposed to like soak it so that like the skin's a little soft, and then get a spoon because the spoon can get in all the nooks and crannies.
Spoon
and crevices.
is the best way to take off the edge of it. Yeah.
So now in the future, I quit that job. But if I ever go back,
now
maybe like half an hour I could get it to.
That's so funny. Yeah. But basically, I'll do a bunch of juices, stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'll drink. Yeah.
So what, like, how time consuming? Like, what is this? Yeah, just how time consuming is like.
So like
making each meal.
Yeah,
I feel it sounds like it would just like it would run like my life.
It's not time consuming. Like if you cook the food, like it'd be like what I said in the beginning. Like you're making those bowls, so you can literally just make like a ton of sweet potatoes, a ton of kale, whatever, and just have it in your refrigerator. And you just make your bowl as you go throughout the week. Or like me, like I do especially I listen to my body. And like right now, like I do a lot of juices, a lot of smoothies, a lot of like fresh fruit. Like I don't really make fancy meals for myself because one, I just don't need it at this point.
Because you probably focus on the flavor and you don't really care what the presentation is like as much.
No, like for presentation, definitely not for myself. It's more just like,
just make him, alright.
Well, you can make it look really cool if you wanted to.
No, exactly. But if it's just for myself, like, it's funny because most chefs, it's like, you're making food very pretty for everybody else, but then like when you're making it for yourself, it's literally just like hodgepodge.
Just a big mush.
But yeah, so that's usually what I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So like, there literally is like a whole science and like.
That's why I'm trying to like wrap my head around like how would I even like.
But it doesn't have to be complicated. So I don't want to make it sound complicated, as I might be making it sound complicated.
You're making it sound very simple once you know what you're talking about and what the science behind it.
I think that just takes some time. It
does.
It just comes with time.
Yeah.
It's definitely not rocket science, but this is like you're talking about financial education. Like they should be teaching this stuff.
Oh, they should.
Nutrition,
health education, like real nutrition, finance education, also business education of how to actually be an entrepreneur, or like just even that mindset of having that
or
choice.
How to just not get screwed if you're gonna try it.
Exactly. Stuff that should
they
be
really
taught.
Trying to keep us down, aren't they?
Like you said earlier, that's literally how schools are built. They're built for people to be employees. Like they don't want you to go out on your own and live your dreams. They want you to just line up like how everybody else is lining up. Basically, it's amazing.
It is, and like there are some schools now, like some private schools now, they are all offering like entrepreneur courses. But a lot of times, like especially like in high schools, they're not taught by anybody that's ever like been an entrepreneur or ever been a business owner. So you're being taught by somebody who's been an employee who's like reading out of a book or like what they think. So like a lot of times, if you, like I didn't go to business school, but like I know like some business schools you are learning from people who like ran multi-million companies, but you also are learning from some professors. If you're lucky enough, or you're learning from some professors who are just like teaching you out of a book.
Who wrote a textbook
about how to do it, who never did it. So it's like a lot of times just like grit and grind, and you go out and do it yourself, and you find mentors who have already been there. And
that's why computer science was so tough, because like all of my professors were like non-commutative, like bury the head in the computer. And they were beyond brilliant, but like, or you would assume so, just because how they carry themselves. And they wrote X amount of textbooks each, like in-depth like programming textbooks. Like, how the hell do you even why would you want to do that?
So true.
But I really struggle, like I just didn't know what a computer scientist did in the real world. Like I didn't know, and these guys didn't they just didn't seem like I know one worked for like Boeing, and then but like I don't know, but that was a problem, because like I'd rather have even someone who's actually working at some field in the software industry that could teach us something. Like that alone would just having them talking from the class would be as meaningful as having someone who wrote the textbook reread the textbook to us.
I mean, like even within entrepreneurship, like I mean, Max said earlier, I took entrepreurship as an undergrad.
Okay. So what was your experience like?
I think it was really helpful, because it did tell me a lot about business plan, kind of coming up with an idea, MVP and things like that. But I don't think it can ever really give you that real world experience similar to like the computer science. Like you actually have to
just
go out and do it because
one of the things you realize a lot though, right?
Yeah, I was, but
not enough probably.
And it just doesn't give you that day-to-day operations. Like there's so much that goes on day-to-day that you need to know that
prepare for.
Doing it in school, it just doesn't teach you that.
Yeah,
it's just like
it's so true.
In school, it just makes it seems like, okay, there's this formula. You do this, and you do this, and everything's gonna be golden. But it's like, no, there's like all these different loops and holes that you gotta go through.
It's like 100 things in between, like those 3 steps.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's like, wait, what? You didn't tell me that. You just have to figure that out on your own.
Yeah, that's so true.
But don't get me wrong, like I would prefer to do that rather than being in the classroom all day for sure. I mean, I guess in that sense,
it's like the real life experience and stuff like that. Yeah, no, definitely.
But,
you learn a lot.
So good.
That's
so for anyone like who might be listening to this who's thinking about digesting obviously all the things we talked about, maybe making that transition, do you just have like a few pointers that you would want to talk about them? And then also even people who are like in high school thinking that find your hobbies to relate to their hobbies, or in coming close to graduation in college, like this is a loaded question obviously, but maybe like what steps like could they take to I don't know, just be happy, like not just do this for like the help, but like be happy doing it at the same time.
I'll answer that in 2 parts. One, I'll just do like just life-wise, is like you were saying, if you're in college, you're in high school, and you're just trying to figure out like what you want to do to your life, and just know like you don't have to know right now. Like a lot of times, especially like with our generations, like you're going to college, and most people don't do anything with what they like graduate in. Because like you're saying, a lot of times you gotta actually get out in the real world and try different things. So like one thing I'd say is don't be afraid to like try different other like career opportunities, chances that come your way, just because they don't fit into like what you think you want to do, what you have planned. Like what you have planned might actually be for you. Like it might be something totally like that you never thought about, but you absolutely love. So don't be afraid to like try that out.
Because throughout this, you've done a lot of different things to get to where you are. But like you speaking, you're so well rounded that,
and like you said, most of the stuff that you've done wasn't even what you studied for in college. Like, so
exactly. And then you you just kind of figure out how to bring it home and make it your own. But then also like do the internships, like find mentors of people that like are doing things that like are in a place in life or doing things that might seem aspirational for you to be able to get to, and just ask, and don't be afraid. Like everyone like loves to tell their story, like, and how they got to where they are, and like most people never ask those people because they feel like, oh, they don't have time, they don't want to, but people love telling their story.
And we learned that through doing
through your podcast too. We've been sitting there
for like 2 hours.
But the amount that we're digesting in all of these interviews is beyond what we thought this would be capable of. We're just kind of getting started. This is
and you just like learn different things, and then like also with the people that you're talking to, like connections can be made through that and stuff like that, once like that person knows what you're trying to do, and can open doors for you and stuff like that. So I say like that's a big thing, is just not being afraid to take chances or go down a route that you might be out of your comfort zone, like like be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's hard for people to wrap around because we're so afraid of change.
That's deep,
because society makes us think if something makes you uncomfortable,
that hits home for me, because like I need to be like in my bed every night. I can't like I know people who like can just pass out wherever they are, like, if they're tired, like they're passing out. Like I will stay up for 72 straight hours until like I'm ready to get back to like my house and my bed.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm literally like that.
Oh, like not me, like literally just give me, I don't even need a pallet, just give me somewhere I can lay down.
But no, I'm just super uncomfortable when I'm not like even when I went out to Pittsburgh for the interview, and I had to sleep out on like a very nice like blow up bed, and I was just it didn't feel right to me.
It's like, alright, I got a place to stay. Cool, I'll stay for a couple days.
But I'll overcome that though, for sure. I just can't. It's you two like just traveling alone is like kind of incomprehensible about, and I know I'm like this with everything, like the build up anxiety's through the roof, but once you're there, it all off your shoulders.
Everything changes.
And that's what I always say is just like be comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
And like always giving your a chance. Like you always want to be growing. So you're not growing, you're dying. You're dying mentally, you're dying physically, like everything. And so the more like you just keep growing and trying new things and just it's scary. I totally know what you're saying. It's scary, and like when you're doing something for the very first time, it's just there's a lot of like just stuff, but it's like you just got to do it. And 9 times out of 10, once you do it, you feel so much better.
And you're truly like absorbing life every day from what you're putting into your body to where you're going and what you're doing. And I feel like that's the key. What you just said, like everyone's dying.
Mm-hmm. Like so a little bit. The whole circle of life, basically. That's pretty cool.
So you're gonna be like 155.
That's what my mom says. She's like, "You're gonna live out, live all. So you're gonna be like 120, like still running around the streets."
Let's go. On your 15-mile run.
I know. But
that's why you're gonna turn to like 30. You're probably gonna be running 30 miles at that point.
I know that'd be nice. But I would say that, and then with like the plant-based thing, I would just say again, start where you are. Like it doesn't have to be overnight. Like you just figure out what your pace is for you. If you want to just start trying to like just eat one plant-based meal a week, you want to eat one make one day just all plant-based food. Just figure out what works for you and just make it easy. Don't overcomplicate it.
So you think like going all in might not be the best method for like longevity?
It's not. I'm just saying you got to know yourself. You got to know yourself, and some people can do it. Like I was able to do it cold turkey, boom, because it hit home with me. Like it just like hit me, and I just like
like you said earlier, you knew your why.
I knew my why. All right,
So
and
because like I'm envious where you are now, but you've been. It's not like you woke up yesterday. And, that's
hard to do it.
Like you're seeing an end product of a lot of behind the scenes work and learning, and and I'm still growing. Like I still have a lot to evolve from. Like
it's important to know for us to know that and everyone else to know that, just because everything looks good on the outside.
But no, like we're all still struggling with our own things and still feel like oh, there's so much to learn. I'm not there. I'm like, some people are like, what? You're there? I'm like, no, I'm not.
There's so much more out there that I could be doing.
So many tropical fruits to discover.
Oh my gosh, yes, exactly. Exactly. So just like doing your own journey, don't overcomplicating it, and then just taking one day at a time, but just eating like simply, and then like also just like finding resources out there. There's like a lot of good resources out there to be able to like right now, even if you like Google or Pinterest or like social media, find like your blogs and then different like that. So like one for like if you want like recipes and just how to be able to make simple, like one really good organization is called Forks Over Knives, for a couple of reasons. One is Forks Over Knives follows like all the recipes are whole food plant-based, so you're not going to get all that crap like processed vegan food. It's all going to be like what I mentioned.
Like a website?
It's a website. They have an Instagram, they have a website, they also have an app. The app is like $3.99, but it's the best $3.99 you will ever spend, where you have access to like hundreds of recipes, from desserts right on your phone, and they're easy, from like literally like complicated recipes that like you want it to fit your cultural situation to just like simple smoothies, from Indian to Asian to pizza to
so it just breaks it down.
They have different categories, so whatever you want you can put in. You can even like type in the name, but that's a very good resource. And also their website is very educational, so if you want to learn like what plant-based is and like what I can and cannot, like all of that, they break it down so easy. They also have a magazine.
You did a very good job too.
Oh, thank you. They also have a magazine that you can get in like Whole Foods and stuff, where like that comes out once a month, and beautiful pictures,
so
recipes.
They
have the whole
brand,
thing. So I always send people there because it's like a one-stop shop. You get everything you need.
So when you go grocery shopping, it's not like frozen like food or so, like do you eat everything? Like do you buy do you buy in bulk a lot of different like ingredients that you put into these things?
So like when I'm making food for myself or other people,
I'm just like, you don't come home with like a bag, well maybe you do, just a bag full of groceries or vegetables and fruit, and like put them in the fridge. Like won't because their plants die a lot quicker than...
So like, no, it's a very good question. So like, for example, so I'll answer this two ways. So if you're eating like a plant-based diet that's like cooked, if you're following like the Forks Over Knives, stuff like that, you can like bulk shop. So you can buy like a big thing of brown rice and a big thing of quinoa, and you can buy like canned beans and chickpeas and all like non-perishable type of stuff, and that'll last for a really long time.
I forget about all these different food groups.
There's like tons of different potatoes last a long time, but like obviously you like your fruit and like your greens and stuff like that will like will last maybe like a week if you're like pushing it. But you can also buy frozen kale, spinach, stuff like that. I try to eat as fresh as possible, and I also eat raw. So like I don't buy in bulk unless like I buy in bulk and knowing it needs time to ripen. So I'll buy for like a couple of days.
I was saying, and then you go back to the grocery store again.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So that's just like how I figured out my rhythm.
Yeah, it all sounds so well planned.
Probably wasn't that easy.
No, it wasn't. It was super complicated. Like I'll be completely honest, it was super complicated in the beginning because it's like you're learning a new language. I don't know what in the world I'm doing. And I had no mentors, nobody teach me. I was literally figuring it out by myself, and like finally I just figured out what worked for me, and like
just giving it back to everybody else.
And then like so I can tell my story, then people can like pick what they want and use it in their life
in their own way.
They'll find
mold it.
And they might like like somebody else out there that's saying the same kind of message and pick what they like, and you just kind of pick pieces and then form it in your own way.
That's pretty dope. So.
That sounds fun.
Awesome.
So I mean, honestly, like I think we could sit here for another like 3-4 hours. Like there's so much more that
I want you to take notes, and I want to need some samples too.
Yes, next time. Yes.
So before we let you go, do you see any future plans for you as far as like is there anything you'd like to promote just for yourself, or is there?
Yeah, so you got 30 to 60, about a minute, 2 minutes to just promote things that you want to talk about, future things you want to work on.
No, definitely. Definitely follow me if you want on Instagram. It's the Melissa Trusty. I'm doing all different types of stuff, from just putting out recipes to putting out just pictures of food that, that I have out there, just highlighting different fruits and vegetables and the benefits of different things like that, but also trying to spread the message of just like self-love and just like understanding yourself and just kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, seeing the glass half full, and just trying to bring everything home as just like when you're eating, so like everything that you're eating, like nutritional wise, like you're eating for your health, but also like what you read, what you watch, what you put in, like who you have around you, like everything is feeding you in some way. And so like nutrition isn't just about like your health, it's about like everything that you're getting into like into your like your being.
Like it really does come full circle.
It's full circle. Like everything affects you, from like the movies you watch, the music you listen to, the people you hang around. Like some people bring you negative energy, some people bring you positive energy. What you say to yourself, what you're reading. Like there's a book called What You Say When You Talk to Yourself. Like it's huge. Like I would definitely recommend that book for everybody. So you don't realize how much self-negative talk you give to yourself, and it's powerful. Like the voice that you have that like goes between these two ears.
That's where it starts.
And
I'll tell you, I'll never be like, damn, he's doing good. That's never going on out there. It's always something negative. What's that book called?
It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's so simple. I can. It's super popular. I can tell you, it's like you can literally get it for like $7. But it's a great one of the first books I read, and it just changed the way that I talk to myself.
Is the book? Is it about like self love or self care?
It's not about self love. It's just it's about
mentality.
It's about mentality, and it's also about exactly what the title is what you say when you talk to yourself. So it kind of breaks down the whole idea of that just us as human beings, and what we say to ourselves is usually negative, and it's usually like putting ourselves down, or we can't do this, and and like everything you say to yourself you're believing, and it goes internal, and that's just like how you start to live your life. But if you change the way you talk to yourself, it changes like your internal mechanisms, but it also changes the way that you see things, and your life starts to change, like literally change. And I've seen it happen in my life, and it's just super powerful, so I highly recommend it. I don't know where I was going with this, but I don't know how we got on that. But
you have full energy. You have energy. You're like glowing. You seem happy. Like I'd be happy to be where you are.
Right. So I got a couple of things to take away. Shakes, different types of tropical fruits.
Yeah.
What else? I guess
that's it, dude.
Or not cooking things.
Yeah. Yeah. 118.
Yeah, 118.
Yeah. Or was it 180? 118.
118.
Yeah,
it's a weird. That's such a weird number.
I know. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with it. The whole thing's beyond my head right now. I'll rewatch this like 4 or 5 times though, and gonna go snack on some celery upstairs. And
so funny.
Some Dorian.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll have to bring that for sure.
This was exciting. This is exciting though. Like this is like a huge topic that, like, talking to myself, like I just was not running away from, but like I wasn't gonna go looking for this conversation.
Yeah.
Unless I had a perfect person to do that with. So appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is so fun.
So different. Like talking about the nutrition, the sports science, everything like that. It's just completely different than what we talked about so far. Like, I
mean, this almost came full circle because a lot of what we talk about is like starting your own business or following passions. It all ties it together for sure. But like you're doing your own business, you're following a passion. You've traveled into this conversation somehow. Mentality. It's all So
you told a complete story, like a legit complete story from. Going from like being little to high school to college to here. So that's really so
dope. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks. This is great.
My brain's like that. I think this is good.
Information overload.
Times like to fully understand what's going on. Like, okay, now I think I'm understanding.
Yeah, definitely. And if you have any questions, like, hit me up. I love answering questions.
Before you stop the recording too. So if people have questions, is it okay if they DM you?
I'm an open resource. So
or even people who would like to hire you for a personal plan.
Definitely. And like, if you have an idea or just anything, I'm open to all ideas, open to helping different people in whatever way that you need help in. And so if you have any questions, I love questions. I love helping people. So just no question's a stupid question. So yes, definitely ask away.
You still believe that or no?
No question's a stupid question?
Yeah, you told me that before this. I was like, just wait. You wait.
I really don't. Because we've all asked those questions and you don't know, you just don't know. So it's nothing's... Yeah.
It's good. We're all growing together.
Yeah, we're all growing together. So definitely people can reach out to me. If they see a need in anything that I do, from if they're an athlete or if they just want a nice tasty meal, if they want consulting, I do a gamut of different things. So nothing's gonna be foreign to me.
All right, well, this will be big for a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap.
Awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on our show. We'll have to have you again next year, just to kind of see where things are at.
I'm
sure you'll probably be traveling all over the world again.
Nice.
Probably hard to get in touch with you.
If there's no coronavirus.
Shit, yeah. You might be in Delco for a few years.
I know. They're going to do a staycation.